Well, taking a look at your NCAA scoreboard, a couple of upsets already in the books. 12-seed High Point takes out 5-seed Wisconsin, 83-82. It was number 6-seed Louisville taking out South Florida, the 11-seed, 83-79. Ohio State, the 8-seed, falls to 9-seed TCU, 66-64. Games going on right now. Big one, Duke they've got their hands full with Siena. They're up now 67-63 after trailing for a majority of the game. Michigan State up big on North Dakota State, 31-18. Right now it's Arkansas up on Hawaii, 38-26. And it's Vanderbilt actually up in front of McNeese right now, 63-57.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. Happy March Madness as the tournament is underway. Upsets happening. We'll keep you updated on all that throughout the show. We are live at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, where we will be featuring the latest installment of the John Schneider Show coming up at 4 p.m., so stay tuned for that. Jim Callis, senior writer, MLB Pipeline, MLB.com, will join us at 5 p.m., so stay tuned for that as well. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You guys want to weigh in on the Mariners, the Seahawks, we've got it all covered for you. And Dave, I was telling you before we came on air, I know everybody's filling out brackets, some people multiple brackets. I went with a new method this year. I always try to, like everybody, you try to predict the upset. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, and you know, sometimes you get burned by those predictions. I just said, you know what, I'm going to try this one year. I took chalk every single game. I've got 4 ones in the Final Four. I've got the higher seed winning every single game.
Why do you ruin it like that, Bob? Why would you do that?
It's kind of almost an experiment. I'm like, all right, I've done it year after year after year, trying to predict this upset, that upset. And again, like everybody else, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. I'm like, all right, let's see. If you just go higher seed, let's see if the committee knew what they were talking about. This team should be the higher seed, thus they should win. And so I just went literally the highest seed on every single game.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I had to do the 12-5, and I did get High Point, which is a university. Where is it, Mike, in North Carolina? I think
it's just south of Winston-Salem. I forgot the actual town. Might be High Point.
Yeah, and they're pretty decent. So I did. There's a little victory for me, and you.
I lost that one.
You lost that one, Bob.
Yeah, I lost it.
Just go to the highest one.
Right out of the gate, it burned me. My new method.
The only other, I think, mild upset, is TCU. They were a 9, and they beat an 8. So that's not really
Ohio
news.
State lost. They were an 8.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. That's that one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think you're probably going to be closer than most people because I don't know. It just seems like the chalk has been.
It's a chalky bracket this year.
Yeah, and it feels like it's been that way in the past.
We'll see. We'll see how it turns out for us. By the way, I'm glad we're here today, and Matt is stuck in the room with Lefko because he'd be insufferable today.
Yeah,
it'd just be way too much Lefko with this tournament going on.
Not till tomorrow. I'm saving that all for you when you guys are back.
Wrong.
You're saving. You're okay.
Wrong. I haven't been in here yet today.
You got in here 5 minutes early.
What
the obnoxiousness until tomorrow.
Your twitchiness, your pacing, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, Purdue plays tomorrow, so it'll happen.
Nose buried in your phone. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
He has already been pacing. He has gotten within 3 inches of the monitor to watch the game. This is a lie.
Jeez.
Yeah, this is Lefko's like Christmas morning.
Yeah, have fun with that, Matt. Also, one other thing I want to throw to you is we're here at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, and it's so funny. Every commercial break, we leave our little room here and we walk out into the main press area, and on the wall they've got a picture of the top 50 Seahawks of all time. And we talked about that as they were voting and all that, and they came up with their top 50. And then we were here last week, and we had John Schneider and Dave Pearson, and somebody else was with us after the conversation, and we were all looking and going, well, who would be your top 3 out of this top 50? And what's funny is we all kind of had 2 that were exactly the same, and it was the third that varied from each person. But I don't know. Text in on that if you guys are aware of who the top 50 Seahawks are. If you had to isolate 3 from that top 50, who would they be? Text that in, 866-979-3776. You and I had 2 of the same with John, same with Pearson, and it was Walter Jones and Cortez Kennedy. Those were the 2 everybody had in common, and then it was the third one that everybody differed on.
Yeah, and I actually had Cortez first. Now, there's a little bias there. But, I mean, obviously those 2 guys are Hall of Famers, so it doesn't really, it's not like a big surprise or anything. But having played with Tez and seeing some of the things that he did, he was just a difference maker. He was just unusual. But I'll tell you what, I wrote down a bunch of names for people that are like, oh, okay, well, who are the top 50? And I'll just give you, a few here. Cortez, Walt, that's 1, 2 for me. Number 3, I have Marshawn. And just because he was such a revolutionary, like I don't think he had the production that Sean Alexander had.
Yeah, that was the other conversation. If we were going strictly stats, it'd probably be a lot different for a lot of these people, because Sean Alexander would be in there, and Tyler Lockett would be in there, and certainly Russell Wilson would be in there.
Well, and I would make the case for Marshawn, because much like Russell Wilson, and that's another guy you brought up, greatest quarterback in franchise history. But, Marshawn ran at a time where he didn't have Walter Jones, Steve Hutchinson, which he is like in my top 10, Walter, Robbie Tobeck, Chris Gray, I think, is also on the list. Sean Locklear. I got a chance to visit with him down on the field at the celebration, and what a great guy. And I feel like Sean Locklear kind of gets left off, but he also had Max Strong leading the way for him. And to me, Marshawn at number 3 for me, he was just, nobody had a running style like him. You talk about high knees. I mean, it was kind of almost like Roger Craig a little bit, but
he was really jagged.
Yeah, he would just
herky,
really,
jerky.
Exactly. And I don't think any running back ran with a wider base than him. Yeah, his feet were always like 2, 3, 4 feet apart, it seemed like, and he was always breaking tackles. But and then after that, I went Largent, Bobby Wagner, and then I put Spoon with a question mark, just because I think if you look at his stats, it's not going to blow you away. But he's just such a interesting, different player. But also, Kenny Easley, Dave Brown, who I think is number 4 or 5 all time in interceptions in the NFL. Jacob Green, 115 sacks. I put Hutch in there. Dave Craig has actually Hall of Fame numbers. He's number 28 all time in yards. So yeah, I mean, you can throw a whole bunch out there. I remember when we were out there with Schneider, one of the guys he mentioned, one of my favorite players of all time, Lofa Tatupu. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, he didn't have the longevity, he didn't have the durability, but Lofa was just he was just an amazingly smart football player.
Yeah, text that in if you have a sense of who the top 50 are. It was voted on at Seahawks.com. I'm sure it's still up there. But just text in your top. Who would be your top 3? It's just kind of a fun exercise. See how many people are of like mind. Because I thought it was interesting. Everybody in that room, we all went, well, Cortez, Walter Jones, and then that's where everybody differed is after that. And I had Largent as my 3rd. Yeah. But look, you can make a case for basically everybody else on that list. So, but just text that in 866-979-3776. We'll get to some of those throughout the show. Meanwhile, another question for the listeners out there and for you. Do you have any concerns about what the Seahawks have or have not done so far in the offseason? It's certainly not finished. There's still plenty of time. There's still the draft and all of that. But just to this point, watching what the other teams around them have done, what the Rams have done, what the 49ers have done, you could argue they haven't kept pace to this point. But you could also argue they didn't have the same level of need that those other teams had as well. So, yeah, they had some flashy moves, specifically the Rams. But they had some holes bigger holes than the Seahawks have. Mm-hmm. So keeping that in mind, Do you look at it and go, God, I wish they were a little more active, or I wish they addressed this, that, or the other?
Yeah, to me, running back is the one position I think that, we'll talk to John about that. George Helani, I think, is kind of an interesting player, and just the way that he ended the season. So maybe I'm thinking a little bit more about him than other, your typical fan. But just the run game in general was the way they stuck with it all year. I thought, for sure that they would keep K9. And, when you end up paying Rashid Shaheed, $17 million, and you probably could have got K9 for 14. I'm kind of like, those numbers are kind of close. And if you look at the opportunities, just the touches, K9 definitely much more than Shaheed. So, but yeah, I think it'll be an interesting question for John to see. But yeah, that's the one position, I think, running back, that I'm not really sure about. But other than that, I don't know. You just feel like it's a Super Bowl team. You're going to get, everybody's going to come and poach your roster and try to emulate what you did. And so a lot of those players, especially, on defense, were highly touted and much sought after. And that's why Kobe Bryant's in Chicago, and, you got
Reeks in Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yep.
And you got Boye Mafe and
Cincinnati.
So.
K9 and Kansas City. Yeah, so it makes sense. And again, when you look at it, it's easy to go, well, God, look what the Rams did. Look what the Niners did. But again, they had more issues to address, and the Rams went big. They did. We'll see how that pays off for them. But Mina Kimes, she was on This Is Football with Kevin Clark. I assume that's a podcast. Breaks down why the 49ers, in her opinion, have had the best offseason so far.
I love the trade for Osa Digizoa. They've been looking for that pass rushing 3-tech for a minute. You get Bosa back, so you got the Bosa Osa up front. But Osa, he's not a plus run defender. He has consistently been one of the better pass rushing defensive tackles in football. In fact, over the last 3 years, he is 6th in ESPN's pass rush win. So when you have guys coming back, you've added him up front. To me, I understand giving up a third is a decent amount, but the price they're paying for him is not crazy. And I think it was worth it because of where this team is. Here's the thing about signing veteran players who are proven. Your Evans, your Osa, even bringing in a guy like Kirk to give you reps from the slot. If you're a team like San Francisco that went as far as you did despite missing half of the entire damn football team, the timeline makes sense. They actually probably had my favorite free agency of any team, Kevin, and I think the idea of all these guys coming back joined by these players is terrifying.
Wow, the expletives out there. Goodness,
I hope she's wrong, like she was about the offseason.
Was Darnold letting Geno go?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is that he's going to be on the 49er roster now, and if you want to try to pronounce his last name,
Osa?
We're going to call him Osa.
Yeah, Osa and Bosa is who you have to worry about.
Osa and Bosa.
Yeah, we'll leave that one for them.
Odigizua.
Okay.
Is that way off? Way off.
I think she said it, but she said it kind of quickly, so I didn't really catch it all. But was there a free agent out there, or even a trade that you think was possible or was possible that they didn't act on? You felt like they should have?
Yeah, I guess I got kind of hung up on the Max Crosby thing.
Yeah.
And, now with the injury, I've always said they're extra. I think everybody's careful about it. Just, the injury thing is easy to check that box.
Yeah.
It's like, if you just there's no, and then there's everything else, right? That's kind of a parenting thing that I picked up from my brother. There's, tell your kids there's no, or there's everything else. And you have to have, a standard of okay, if he's injured, we're going to stick to this, and we're not going to bring in anybody that is going to be a problem medically. So, and it looks like that might be the thing. But I thought Max Crosby, number one, I kept saying, the Las Vegas Raiders don't need him.
Yeah.
They need other things. And then, I thought he would fit in on anybody's defense. I mean, this guy, he is he's like watching Devin Witherspoon, except in a bigger body.
Well, maybe look, that's still out there.
Yeah, I find it could happen.
I find it hard to believe he's going to play for the Raiders this year. It just, they shipped you off. The deal was done. We played that cut from him yesterday. He was so excited to be in the building where the Ravens, and he was looking forward to talking to the GM and the head coach, and heck yeah, let's get this going. I'm fired up. And then that plug gets pulled, and he's got to go back to the team that shipped him off and act like, yeah, I'm excited. We got a chance to win it all. No, you don't. You don't believe that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't buy that. So he's still out there, and maybe he can be had for a lower price now because he's viewed as damaged goods on some level. And every team's got their different evaluation, their different injury grades we heard John talk about. So how they would view him, maybe they would look at him and go, well, based on the information available and all that, we'll give you a second and a this and a that as opposed to 2 firsts. I don't know. Field Yates was on with Rock and Salk, and he talked about, in his opinion, what it would take for the Seahawks to land Max Crosby right now.
I think it would be two ones, especially, it's going to be at least 2 ones because 32 is a lot different than 14.
All right.
So 2 ones, but it's got to be 2 ones plus something.
Yeah, that's the other problem that, for the Seahawks, that they have the number 32 pick, obviously. So it's not like a huge deal. But I think that's kind of what we've been hearing, that it's going to be 2 ones and a player. And, we talked about Derek Hall possibly being that guy. So, yeah, I mean, it may still be on the books. They still have a chance there. But I don't know. You look at defense. Do they really need to take that big of a swing in order to get their defense right? Their defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah, unless they feel like, hey, we have to make a move with Uchenna with that number. He's third highest paid on this team in terms of salary cap hit.
I think it was $19 million, the salary cap.
Yes, 17, 19. Yeah, it was a fairly big number where you're going, okay, are they going to restructure? Is it going to be a cap casualty? So maybe they've got something in mind there. We don't know about D-Law. It's out there, the speculation, but there's been no confirmation one way or the other as to what his future is. I'm certain they know much more. So maybe that would make a move like Max Crosby much more realistic and maybe much more necessary if they're looking at, hey, we just lost Boye, whether you think he fit or not. He didn't live up to the billing. He was still part of that rotation. We may lose Uchenna. This is the hypothetical thrown out there, and we may lose D-Law to retirement. At that point, maybe they are thinking, we got to take a big swing here.
Yeah. And then the other thing is you kind of go 1 for 1 though, because let's, no Boye Mafe. Let's say that there's no Uchenna. And then, you look at the possibility that D-Law might retire, and then you're going to trade, another player away. And Derek Hall.
Maybe it does. Maybe it's not Derek Hall. That was just somebody floated that as a possibility, but maybe it's who knows. Maybe it's another position they feel like they've got depth. I don't know who that would be, but maybe they would go, no, we can't afford to be that. We're killing our depth completely on the D line, even with Max Crosby. You give me another player you're interested in.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I think all of a sudden, you have this wealth at defensive end, and now all of a sudden it's looking like there's some question marks there. So that would be kind of my worry there. And I know they like to rotate people and everything. So I don't know how many, how durable Max Crosby is going to be, but
we know he's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the other part, is that maybe they're making these deals, these 1-year deals, where they're not a lot of money attached to the guys they brought in so far, because they've got 2 guys that are there waiting for extensions in JSN and Witherspoon. Mm-hmm. And JSN's verbalized he thinks he should be the highest paid receiver in the league. Whether that ends up being true or not, we'll see. But right now, if we're just going average annual value, the highest paid receiver in the league is getting $40.25 million per season. That's Jamar Chase. If Spoon feels the same way, I haven't heard him verbalize it, but I would imagine he feels, or his agents feel, I should be in that conversation. The highest paid cornerback AAV is $31 million per season, and that's Trent McDuffie. So hypothetically, if they both feel that way, and the Seahawks were to sign them both to an extension, just between those 2 guys, you're looking at $70+ million if they equal or top these 2 salaries.
Right.
Can you field a competitive team if you're paying those 2 that much? Just playing out the hypothetical. And looking ahead a little bit, if Sam Darnold has another good year, he's going to want an extension at market value. By everybody's estimation, he's below market value. And right now, the highest paid AAV for a quarterback is $60 million a season, which I don't know that he'd be asking for that, but he's going to be asking for more than he's making now. So you got three guys potentially eating up the majority, a strong chunk of your salary cap.
Yeah, of those two, and I think for a lot of people probably around the NFL, if they're looking at, if you look at Witherspoon, it's not like he has great numbers or anything, but what he means to your defense and the things that you can do. I mean, he was everything in pressuring, in the Super Bowl, and
he's already one of the top 50.
Yeah, which I'm not so sure about that. Putting current players up there, because I think DK's on that list as well.
DK's there.
Yeah. But isn't Michael Dixon also?
I believe he is.
Yeah, he is. So the current players, I'm not so sure about that. But yeah, he's a very interesting player, and I think with Spoon, I don't know. If it was him or JSN, who are you taking?
I'd probably go with Spoon.
Same.
I just think it's harder to do what he controls his own success much more than a receiver, not just JSN, but any receiver. They need the line, they need the quarterback. Right. You've said it a million times. So I just think he can make his own luck on a much bigger scale at his position. All right, we'll talk more about that. You guys can text in on that as well, 866-979-3776. Let's take two.
Well, we are 1 week away from opening day. Mariners spring training lineup tonight in Oakland, in Mesa, against the A's. Not a lot of starters in their lineup. Josh Naylor is in there. No Cal Raleigh, no J.P. Crawford. You can hear that game against the A's tonight, right here at 6. Pregame coverage begins on Seattle Sports.
Yeah, Crawford not being there, not a surprise. And Naylor, these guys coming back from the WBC, I'm sure they're going to get a gauge of how they feel, what kind of rest do they need. These games don't matter to them. Their roster spots are secure. Hopefully their timing is where it needs to be based on the competition they were in. They're not still trying to find their timing and trying to get in. Nobody's getting in shape at this point. Those days are done. They come to camp in shape. So, Crawford is the one I just kind of keep my eye on, because we had that big discussion about, well, if you can't start the season, what's your answer?
Yeah. Is it Leo Rivas?
Yeah.
Possibly. And, and I like that they have those – those kinds of choices that Rivas, he's not going to blow anybody's skirt up, but like he's a good, solid player. And then, we'll see what happens with Colt. But, it gives me a lot of comfort having Josh Naylor back, because I feel like, we've always talked about the corners, and you got Brendan Donovan, who's just as solid as can be, and then Josh Naylor getting back into shape, and just feels good to have those guys back home.
Well, the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament, Duke, trailed by 11 at halftime to 16-seeded Siena. Eventually, they do overtake them. Duke wins 71-65. And the other upset, or the big upset of the day, the 12-seed High Point got a go-ahead layup from a guy who hadn't made a two-pointer all year. That's how they beat Wisconsin 83-82.
So what, he was hitting threes all year? Is that the implication? He had only attempted
three-point field goals, and in the game, he had like 4 threes, was only taking three-pointers, and then he cut loose on a breakaway, had the go-ahead layup.
Anybody else pick High Point besides Dave?
Not I. Matt?
Anybody?
We'll check Matt's bracket in the break.
Yeah. Here's one thing. Lefko, did you see the play? Did you see the layup?
Yeah.
Did he take 3 steps?
He might have, yeah. It's all right.
Is that a thing anymore?
Traveling drives me nuts, man. It really does.
There's no such thing.
So you would have preferred not to have the upset because of traveling?
No, I'm just like, I want to be fair and square. But, yeah, I guess it was like in transition, that first step, but I'm sorry, I saw 3 steps there.
Oh, I'm sure you did. You probably saw 3.5. That's, the NBA, you pretty much can skate down the court. You're fine. Take 2 by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. We have honed in on the biggest storyline over the next week for the Mariners. We'll tell you what that's about coming up next with Wyman and Bob, live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh is first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Lee Johnson Auto Family. The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ way. For those diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or PTSD, Northwest Ketamine Clinics wants you to know hope is within reach. Here's Brandon, a recent patient.
Going to sleep was challenging. Getting my brain to turn off was challenging. Just kind of getting through every day was a bit challenging. Like everything was a little too hard, a little too much resistance, and that just kind of evaporated. After the first few sessions of ketamine, it was noticeable. People remarked on it pretty quickly. I had done maybe 2 sessions, 3 sessions, and people started going, what are you doing differently? You look awesome. You just look like your skin is healthier and you look happier. To anyone thinking about giving it a try, if you have depression, ADHD, bipolar, any of those things feel like they would vastly benefit from it. So go for it. That's what I say.
Welcome to the Pacific Northwest's most experienced ketamine center. Book a free phone or video consult at nwketamineclinics.com. Healing starts here.
The brackets are now open. Compete in the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Final tryouts for adults ages 18 to 65 and older are this Sunday, March 22nd at Interlake High School in Bellevue. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers in high school to former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
P&D Tree Service, local experts in tree removal. If you were hit hard by the storm, P&D Tree will remove trees and clean up while minimizing impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. PNDTreeservice.com.
Get broadcast times for every 3-Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At seattlesports.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You want to weigh in on the Mariners, which we will get to. A little bit of news concerning your Seattle Mariners. The Mariners themselves and our Mariners insider Shannon Dreher tweeting out just about 10 minutes ago that the opening day starter for your Seattle Mariners will be Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert getting the nod for the opening day. And we talked to Daniel Kramer on Monday, and he kind of hinted at that. I don't know if you have that cut left or not, but he put it in a way where you're kind of going, wait, is he saying Logan's going to be the guy? He said basically he was saying you can kind of see where it's going. You know, he's saying something along the lines of he's 2 days ahead of where Woo is or something like that. He just put it in a way where it wasn't black and white, but it sort of looked like this is where it's going. If you're reading the tea leaves, so to speak, he's going to be the opening day starter. And here you go. Logan Gilbert is your opening day starter.
Yeah, he just seemed like the most likely one to me anyway, but just because, they're thinking about possibly extending him. I think that's important. And then he just seems to be solid. I mean, I guess it was how close was Woo? I mean, did you think it was Logan? I'm trying to remember.
And part of it was based on talking to Kramer. I can't remember how to verbalize it, but we kind of came out of it going, all right, well, it's trending that way.
Yeah.
I do enjoy reading the comments. Again, the Mariners tweeted this out. I retweeted it if you're on Twitter at Bob Stelton. But I was looking at some of the comments from the Mariners tweet of and the cool picture of Logan and all that. But somebody immediately wrote, the disrespect to Brian Woo is insane. Watch him sign with the Yankees now. I think we talked about it yesterday when we were debating, who it may be, and said, even if they gave it to Woo, I see Logan being like, yeah, okay. Like he wouldn't, nobody would take it personally. Nobody would be like, I can't believe they did this to me. And we said, basically, I don't think anybody in that rotation really has that vibe to them. Like, I think they'd all appreciate it. I think they'd all love that honor, but I don't think any of them feel disrespected because they weren't the guy.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like that is the sort of culture of that rotation. And you brought this up that, when Logan was the starter last year, Castillo was more excited than he was about it. And, I don't think that there's any ego there or anything. It's, Brian Woo, though, man, I mean, you look at like his demeanor and just watching him walk around and go about his business down at spring training. He's a very focused individual.
Yeah.
And he's got kind of a little
very
bit
serious.
He's very serious. He's got kind of a George Kirby, bleep off on his forehead. And so I like that about him, but I don't think in a million years that was going to be a problem for this rotation and just how close they are.
Yeah, this person said, kinda boo, I want Woo. All right. And they have not announced what the rest of the rotation is going to look like. I would assume Woo's your number 2 guy, but I don't know what their strategy is based on, they're facing the Guardians and they got the Yankees after that. I don't know if there's some sort of maneuvering they want to do just to get off to a hot start. But I think if you're just going on merit or just who did what, if you're going to go Logan 1, you have to go Woo 2. I would think it's Kirby would be my 3, Castillo would be the 4, and likely Emerson Hancock starting the season, or Bryce, even if it were Bryce, would be 5.
Yeah. Who's the guy that you worry the least about being miffed by, how they line up in the rotation?
Castillo.
Yeah, same.
Based on his reaction to Logan getting the nod last year, I think he's just all about Castillo. Yeah, Castillo's not who he was. He's the oldest guy in that rotation, and his skills have diminished a little bit. But he's still a guy who gives you a chance to win more often than not. And I think he's just a pro. He's been such a huge asset to that rotation, and I think at times we take him for granted. Even last year, we talk about everybody getting hurt. He was the one guy who didn't miss starts due to injury.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's perfect. He gives up some untimely home runs here and there, but he's a stud. He's a stud pitcher. And I think he is just a pro, and I think he'd be the one I'd be the least. I don't worry about any of them, but I'd worry the least about him.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like you said, he's a professional. And boy, seeing him out there, it's always so different when we're right there watching him throw and watching him warm up. And the other thing about Castillo, it looked like he worked really hard in the offseason. Like, he's a big dude. He's a solid guy. And just watching him just throw smoke over there, he is exactly what they call him. He's the rock. He's the one you just know you can count on, whether it's, emotionally or, as far as filling in and just, like you said, being a pro.
Joe in Bellevue said if merit was a criteria, Wu would have been number 1. Well, and again, do we have that cut, Lefko? Did you find it?
Yeah, I have the brief part where, in talking about Brian Wu, this is kind of how, in getting into who might be the opening day start, this is kind of what Daniel said in terms of everything stacking up.
But he's 2 days behind Logan Gilbert within how they're slotting their rotation, which I think you can kind of connect the dots there and see how they're going to be rolling out the rotation when we do break camp.
Yeah, so that was his comment. He's 2 days behind in the way they're slotting it. I wasn't totally 100% on exactly what he was saying, but the inference was it was going to be Logan Gilbert. You said connect the dots. All right. So does that mean 2 days behind? Does he think he's going to be the 3, or what does that mean to you?
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about also was, that him getting like a long-term deal. When was that Cal signed his deal? Do you remember what was it in spring training or was it during the off season?
Yeah, it was like right before the season began.
Before it started, yeah.
That's what I thought. I wonder if they do that same thing with Logan Gilbert coming up here.
You think there's a connection to this move and wanting to lock him up?
If you're the type of person that connects the dots.
Well, and look, I don't think it hurts their chances doing this. I just don't. Yeah. I just don't think it's necessary either. I think they're doing it because they feel like this is how it should be. Not, hey, we want to gain favor with Logan in order to re-sign him, so let's throw him this bone. I don't think there's anything to that. I think it's, hey, this is how we feel like we're going to get off to the best start. Daniel Kramer there talking about being 2 days behind. Again, not entirely certain what he meant by that, but maybe they're going to baby step him a bit because he did have a career high in innings last year, and then we saw him get the pec injury at the end of the season. So, and he has been an injury guy, even though he was remarkably durable up until that point. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe they're like, hey, we're going to start the season this way with him and slowly build him into that. I don't know, but you're not in a bad spot with Logan Gilbert as your opening day starter. It's not like, I don't think anybody can look at this with any level of disbelief and feel like, whoa, come on, what? I mean, there's nothing. No.
Yeah, I agree. And, and I don't think that that anybody's going to get terribly miffed over it. But, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Logan Gilbert get that extension here at some point before the season starts. But, I mean, it's just I wonder if that's the case in other Major League Baseball cities. Is there some drama with who starts, and I wonder how many, because this just seems like such a tight group, these guys, and a lot of it because of our guy Cal connecting all of those guys. And so I'm curious if that's a thing in other places. I feel like it's just one of those things that's not really a problem here because it's such a tight team.
Well, and plus you feel like you've got 4 ones when they're all healthy there.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, pick one. We're good. Meanwhile, the Mariners will soon have to make a big choice when it comes to Emerson Hancock. We're going to get into that conversation coming up next with Wyman and Bob live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
Breaking news this morning from ESPN.
Is it finally happening?
Good golly, Miss Molly.
ESPN's Shams Charania, the NBA, will vote next week to explore adding expansion teams in Vegas and Seattle. Joining us now, Shams himself.
The NBA is projecting that both Seattle and Las Vegas would immediately jump into the top 8 of revenue-generating teams.
Stay caught up on the latest at seattlesports.com and Seattle Sports on 710, the app, and YouTube.
Flying chickens in a barnyard.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and $250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you grow your business from idea to industry leader? With smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Febreze.
New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and New Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got 3 options. Number 1, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
A reminder, we got the John Schneider Show happening today at 4 p.m. as we come to you live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. The text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. A couple of things for you guys to weigh in on. First of all, we opened the show talking about just being down here at the VMAC and then looking out into that press room there, and they've got a picture of Seahawks top 50 players. There's an individual picture for each player. Very nice presentation out there, and we always go out there and just stare at them and talk about, yeah, I remember this guy did this, and boy, this guy was great at that. And then we started talking about if you had to pick your top 3 from that top 50 list, who would it be? And we gave you ours earlier in the show. You guys can text in yours. If you had to take 3, your top 3 of the top 50 Seahawks of all time, who would they be? You can text that in. And also the news that just came out, Logan Gilbert will be your opening day starter for the Seattle Mariners, taking on the Guardians a week from tonight. So that's out there as well. You think that's the right move, not the right move? How do you feel about that? Meanwhile, looking at this rotation, you've got Emerson Hancock there, who looks like he's going to be the guy, presumably, for Bryce Miller, as Bryce Miller needs to work his way back into, shape, if you will, stretch himself out, get ready, because he's obviously behind schedule with the stops and starts he's had with that oblique injury. But Dan Wilson, after the game yesterday, talked about what Emerson Hancock was, just him incorporating a sweeper and what that's done for him this spring.
He is using it a little bit differently. I think that sweeper really does give him a different look with the right-handers and the left-handers. And, the slider, too, has been very, very good. He's able to use the changeup as well against the lefties. So he's mixing and matching. And I think, Johnny Paredes today doing a nice job with him, mixing it up. And then he's got that heater up at the top of the zone that'll really surprise you. And I think I saw it hit 97 at one point today. So, he's going to try to get you swing and miss at the soft stuff down below, and then he can really rush you up at the top of the zone.
Yeah, according to Gary on the play-by-play, he hit 98 yesterday, which, he's ticking up in terms of velocity. So we'll, see what that means for him. But he's only got one minor league option left. So they got to kind of figure out, what do we do here? Is he only going to be here for a minute? Is he going to be? Do we want to save that option and just work our way around it with Cooper Criswell, a guy that's another candidate to be a starter there? If they think Bryce is only going to miss a start or 2, I mean, a lot of that's going to be obviously dependent upon Bryce's availability. But you do have a bit of a decision to make with him.
Yeah, that's true. Where does he rank as far as level of concern, as with this team? Like, is it more concerning than, what JP not starting the season, or possibly
Bryce you're talking about? You're talking about level of concern with Bryce Miller, or level of concern with
Hancock, Emerson Hancock?
But concerned about what? Like,
well, I mean, the way he started last year,
Yeah.
you look at his game log, I mean, I think people had a hard time forgetting that.
I think his first start, right? Didn't he just get torched in that first start?
Yeah, I mean, it was 2/3 of an inning. It was at the end of March, and we lost to Detroit in that game. But, you know, he had he walked one, he gave up a home run, he gave up 6 earned runs.
Yeah,
Remember?
that's not good.
He just had that really bad start.
They sent him down after that? I can't remember what happened. I remember getting lit up.
Yeah, his next outing was the 17th of April, so it was, you know, a couple weeks and then some later. But I remember Charlie Furbush coming on and going, hey, he's fine. He did a lot of things that, you know, that are, you know, something to like. But, yeah, I mean, the 6 earned runs, 2/3 of an inning, and everybody kind of freaked out a little bit. About him. And then, you know, he slowly kind of built his way back. And the next few innings, he went 5 innings, 4 games, 5 games. He went 5 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, 5 innings.
And that's what you want from him. And to answer your question, I don't really have any concerns with him. I don't
either.
I don't look at him on the same level as Logan and Wu and Kirby. I think he's a notch below. I don't think he's as unique or as special perhaps as those guys are, but they're splitting hairs. I think he's a very good pitcher, and you're seeing the velocity tick up. I think he's just a guy you look at and go, this is a guy who gives us a chance to win more often than not. His job in this role, keep us in the game. If you can eat up innings, even better. If you can give us 6, you can give us 6+, great. But if you can give me 5 and 3 or less, just give me that. Because I think any team's going to feel like you did your job. You kept us in the game, and we have a chance to win now. We can turn it over to our bullpen. Hopefully our offense is going to be able to back up what you put out there. So give me at least 5 and 3 runs or less, and I think most people would look at that and go, that's a win. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and that's the thing about, I mean, we also talk about the fact that, like, who is like entirely happy with all 5 pitchers in their rotation.
Yeah.
And the answer would be us when Bryce Miller is healthy, right? But yeah, for him, I mean, and he didn't have any kind of blow up after that for quite a while. So I mean, I don't really worry about him that much, and especially having heard that from Charlie Furbush, he's like, he's going to be fine. And sure enough, he was right. You know, his next, like I said, 5 or 6 outings, he was fine. So yeah, I mean, that's just, that level of concern for me is very low. And I think, you know, he's, like you said, uptick in his velocity, and he's, I'm sure, got better during the off season. And I don't know. It's just very low on the worry list for sure for me.
Yeah, and he's also a guy that worked as a reliever for the first time last year. And this is back on September 25th of last season. He talked about how it felt to work as a reliever for the very first time.
The whole day, I just felt just less anxious. Like, and as far as I ever known was like the starter routine, like the whole day, the whole build-up, right? And as a reliever, like, you don't have that time. So, like, in a way, you're creating trust and confidence in yourself to say, if I have to throw 6 pitches, I can go in the game. And I just think today it was like, I'm just going to warm up to get loose, and I'm going to throw a couple off the mound. And it was crazy. I threw like 10, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. But it's like my old routine is I throw a couple hitters, you simulate some batters, but it was just the process of being a reliever has certainly helped me, and it's gave me a great perspective on things.
I'm sorry, you said that was September 25th?
Yeah.
Yeah, against Colorado.
What a great attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just, hey, it was great. You know, he just feels like a guy, you plug him in wherever you need him. We need you to we need you as a starter. We need you for long relief. We need you. Here's your role. He's like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
He's a valuable guy. How they deal with him with just one option left is going to be interesting, but he's really, really valuable to this team.
Yeah.
He's proven that.
He had a good outing that day. I mean, he had pitched 4 innings, only gave up 2 hits, no walks, struck out 7. And so, yeah, that's one of those confidence builders, you know, for him, that like once you sort of get the recipe for, okay, yeah, I can handle this. And I like everything that he said there. Seems like he's perfectly comfortable with it.
All right, coming up, there could be some big changes coming to the NFL next season. We're going to get into some of those coming up next with Wyman and Bob live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike three called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
Goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Imagine all that can happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes are going to come out, but what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price never changed for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most. That finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. You get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices and no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings attached. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi, all with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions do apply. Select plans only.
The brackets are now open. Compete in the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
If you've gained 20, 30, or even 40 or more pounds over the past few years and nothing seems to work anymore, listen up. I'm Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and our completely medication-free program has helped thousands in Washington lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. No drugs, no weekly shots, no muscle loss, no side effects, no forever monthly costs, just food, but the right type, in the right amount at the right time. All part of a detailed plan with expert coaching every step of the way that helps you reset your metabolism and burn fat. Schedule your free phone consult at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Yeah, Mike Salk here, and Dr. Coogan is right. I can attest to losing 35 pounds with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It works. It's safer, less expensive than alternatives, with no injections or pills, and no scary side effects. Schedule a free consult and find out for yourself.
Over 4,000 people have lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. Come to our clinic in Kirkland or do our program from anywhere you live with our remote options. Schedule your free phone consult online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until opening day next Thursday against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. KIRO AM Seattle. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Just 2 games going on right now in the NCAA tournament. Michigan State, the 3 seed, up 69-48 on the 14 seed North Dakota State. 10:45 to go in that one. Meanwhile, Arkansas, the 4 seed, up on the 13 seed Hawaii. That one 73-55 with just over 11 minutes to go in that one. Some finals from earlier today. Duke, the number 1 overall seed, hangs on after trailing for much of this game. They beat Siena 71-65. It was the 4 seed Nebraska hammering 13 seed Troy 76-47. The big upset of the day so far is the 5 seed Wisconsin falling to 12 seed High Point 83-82. Vanderbilt takes out McNeese 78-68. Louisville over number 11 seed South Florida 83-79. And a bit minor upset as far as seeding goes. The 8 seed Ohio State falls to the 9 seed TCU 66-64.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. We got the John Schneider Show coming up today at 4 p.m. Stay tuned for that. We threw out a couple of questions to you guys in the first hour. If you're just tuning in and missed that, we were talking about being down here at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center and staring out the door. We're in a tiny little room here where we broadcast from, but there's a big media room outside this door that has a picture celebrating the top 50 Seahawks players of all time. And there's an individual picture of each player up on the wall. And we often go out there during the commercial breaks and stare at them and tell stories about each guy. Remember this, remember that. And then we got down to, if you had to pick your top 3 of that top 50, you got to remove the top 3 out of that group. Who would they be? Text those in. 866-979-3776. And the other bit of news that came out today was that Logan Gilbert has been named the starter for the season opener of your Seattle Mariners, taking on the Guardians 1 week from today. So Logan Gilbert gets the nod as your opening day starter. Right choice, wrong choice. Should it have been Wu? Should it have been Kirby, Castillo? Who do you think? You can weigh in on that as well on the text line at 866-979-3776. Meanwhile, some things going on in the NFL, Dave, and you hate reading this opening line to this story here. The NFL is laying groundwork for hiring replacement officials this season if the league is unable to agree on a new CBA with the NFL Referees Association, according to emails reviewed by ESPN. They're looking at replacement officials. Now, we've been down this road before. We've seen this movie before. It was not good. Not good.
We got a free touchdown out of it.
We did. Now you're going to get, now here come the text. It wasn't free. Take a look at this freeze frame shot here. Look,
I'm sorry.
Seahawks got a gift.
I'm sorry that was not a touchdown. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it too, but the Seahawks got a gift. It was just, but that was the impetus for getting the regular guys back.
Right.
And I would think that would, all they need to do is replay film of how that whole thing went with the replacement officials and go, do you really want to go down this road again? Mm-hmm. Let's work this out. I feel like the referee association has some leverage here.
Yeah, I can't remember the person that was interviewing Pete Carroll. Her name was Lindsay. I can't remember exactly I don't even know where she is now, but like I just remember Pete saying her name. He's like, Lindsay, the game's over. They ruled it a touchdown.
Yeah.
And this is the Golden Tate Immaculate Reception, right?
The Fail Mary.
The Fail Mary.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was, I'm sorry, that was not a touchdown catch for Golden Tate. So yeah, I mean, that, like you said, was the impetus for them to, all right, let's pay the NFL officials. Absolutely. And Mike asked the question, should they be full-time employees? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, I just, and it's funny, I get, people texting in that, oh, you don't like the officials. I love the officials. I think they do a great job. They've got a great culture because it's not about them. They don't, well, there's a couple of officials, I'm sure, that are maybe, we heard from somebody that, there was a certain guy that didn't think his, what smells. So, yeah, I mean, every once in a while you get one or two, but I mean, for the most part, it's a great group of guys. They're always there to help you. It's a very important game. It's, there's lots of money on the line. Why would they not be full-time officials?
What I guess, and I was just looking it up on Google, the average salary for an NFL referee, saying $200,000 to $250,000 per season. Do you need to be full time? I mean, if you're making that kind of money, do you need to work all year? I don't know. Maybe they got some big families. I don't know. And then it talks about experience. Rookie refs usually make $100 to $150, which is still, you're doing just fine, I would think. Do you need a job in the off season? Is that, I don't know everybody's expenses, and they said veterans/crew chiefs can exceed $300,000 plus in some cases.
Yeah.
So,
well, and and I would think that these guys would like to, keep it part-time probably because they can go and pursue other interests and things and, run businesses and attorneys. Remember we heard there was a tax accountant at one point that, we heard about. And so.
But it feels like when you say, shouldn't they be full-time, that sort of implies, well, you're not paying them very well. They have to go work another job.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're doing this because we love the game, but I've got to go work another job in order to pay my bills. And then you look at, if Google is to be believed, if the average is somewhere between $200 and $250, that's a nice part-time job, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it really is. But it's also a ton of pressure, a lot of travel, things like that, and just the importance of the games. It just seems weird to think that these guys are part-time employees. When what they do is so important.
And just looking at the article, it says the proposed approach is similar to what the NFL carried out during the 2012 lockout of officials, which extended 110 days and ended after the third week of the regular season. It says, according to the emails, the league is looking for a list of about 150 mostly small college officials by the end of this weekend. The officials could begin onboarding as early as April, then attending a 4-day clinic in May. Absent a CBA agreement, they would continue training through the summer, make visits to training camps before regular season begins. NFL didn't comment on it, but I just don't, do you really want to revisit that? Nobody looks upon that fondly. Nobody goes, hey, that wasn't such a bad deal. If we're ever pushed into a corner again, look, it worked out okay. No, it didn't. Didn't work out well at all. So I would assume that, again, the Referees Association has some leverage here and I would just put that on a loop. I would just replay this. Go, really? Is this the road you want to go down because you don't want to, budge on this number or budge on this point of contention here? So hopefully cooler heads will prevail because you don't want a season with that, right? You don't want a season with an asterisk. If you miss the playoffs by a game or you make it by a game, but it was a controversial game where the replacement refs blew this call and it favored you or it hurt you. You just don't want any of those points. You don't want any of that to be a reason for something.
Well, and if you're the NFL, why would you skimp on that? They don't skimp on anything, right? I mean, it's just the amount of money. And then, the other thing is, I think that as far as the officials, whether it's NBA, the umpires during, baseball season, this is the best culture. because these guys don't think they're the show. They try to stay out of being the show, stay away from that. And then, they get, there's plenty of times that they get checked, and, they get the thing, they get
grades.
the calls right. So, I just, to me, I think it just seems like a weird, like I said, a weird place to skimp. But I really, I'm always on the side of the refs. A lot of people think, oh, you complain about all the officials, you don't like officials. Hey, I love them. They were great when I played. They were there to help. And I think this is the one sport where the culture is really good, and that they're there to help you. They're not going to. I've had guys actually. I had officials give me a warning, like, "Hey, if you do that again, I'm going to have to flag you."
Yeah.
Just that kind of thing. And I always admired them, and I never complained about the officiating other than the rules that are, and they're not in charge of that. It's the NFL Rules Committee that's coming up with all of these complaints about, helmet to helmet and stuff like that. I just think that it's not them. And when I get, sort of sideways with the officials, it's not about the officials themselves.
It's about what they're being asked to call.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
This story brings up a different element that he hadn't really considered, but it says they were talking about the NFL Referees Association Executive Director, Scott Green, said this contingency plan with the replacement refs raises two key issues. Now, what do you think of this one, Dave? It says the first is Green believes would be an increased vulnerability to gamblers amongst replacement officials. What do you think of that? If you're a replacement official and this is temporary, they're going to work out a deal at some point. So my time frame here is very limited. It could be a week, could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It was 3 weeks last time, 3 games.
That they would be more susceptible?
That somebody could come up to them and go, hey, look, I'll pay you, I don't know, 25 grand, 50 grand to make sure this team wins, or make sure this guy does this, or some big time gambling, big shot who's got tons of money on a specific outcome for a player or the final score or what have you. And this guy can make a season's worth of money in one call. I get that. I'm not saying it would happen, but I understand. Yeah. A guy whose job is temporary and could be very temporary, as short as a week, 2 weeks. And he's going, I can make 50 grand here off this guy, or whatever the guy may offer him to make this call, make a call here this way, make a call that way.
Well, I
get it.
They're always, I guess if somebody's out of challenges or whatever, but they're always reviewed, and like scoring plays are reviewed automatically and everything.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they don't call pass interference, something that you don't review. Maybe they do call pass interference. They could impact the game in a big way on plays that are not reviewable.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think that a game of football can be manipulated that easily.
You don't think so? You don't think they could call a roughing the? We see it with the regular officials where you go, what? How is that roughing the passer? How was that not roughing the passer? I mean, we have that dispute all the time with refs, one way or the other. How did you not call that, but you called this? So
I guess if it was something like, I guess maybe people thought that with the golden take catch.
Yeah, and they talk about that here in the story. It says the NFL's use of replacement officials in 2012 was universally criticized by coaches and players, in part because it dipped into the lower level colleges and minor professional leagues, including Arena League. And then it says the final game before the agreement ended with a chaotic Hail Mary ruling that granted the Seahawks a 14-12 victory over the Green Bay Packers. So that was the final nail in the coffin. The chaotic Hail Mary ruling. So that literally was the impetus to get this thing. All right, we can't stomach this anymore. We've got to get this settled.
Yeah. By the way, I've been calling it the Immaculate Reception. They had a spinoff, and I couldn't remember what it was. It's the Inaccurate Reception.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I guess so. It just seems like, baseball and basketball are much more easily manipulated, I guess, games than the NFL, just because there's so many things that have to happen. That was like we were talking about, maybe the players being on the take, and other outside of like, I guess a quarterback, you could get him to throw an interception or two, but like I mean, he's going to get yanked at some point, and maybe a field goal kicker.
Yeah, or a fumble. Running back could fumble the ball. How about this? This is an interesting one. The Cleveland Browns are proposing a rule change that would allow NFL teams to trade draft picks 5 years into the future instead of 3. So 5 years, we'll give you a first-round pick in 2031 or, something along those lines. They said that only 2 teams submitted proposals that will be considered by the owners at the league meetings later this month, with the other coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers about contacting players during the free agent negotiating period. That was their thing. But this is kind of interesting. Now, any changes need to be approved by at least 24 of the 32 teams. So you got to get a majority there, obviously. But what do you think of that?
Well, that'll be an interesting one to ask John Schneider. Maybe we can bring him in on that, because it just seems like it's 5 years is so far away. That it's not going to help you immediately.
Well, and you don't know what the team is going to do. Like if you got a historically bad team like the Browns or like the Cardinals, that might be a risk. You go, these guys just can't get it right. That's going to be a high draft pick 5 years from now, because they screw it up. So, or it may not have that much value with another team because you're going, okay, we're going to take their 5th round pick 5 years from now, but they're getting players that impact them now, which means they could potentially be good. And that 1st round pick is now going to be something like what the Seahawks have. It's going to be toward the bottom. It's going to be 29, 30, 31, something along those lines. So it's a gamble.
Yeah. I don't know, why they would be that. It's only 2 teams though, right? Like you said, the Browns and the Steelers.
Well, they've made proposals.
So, it's just kind of interesting. I'm curious what John would think, but like as a fan, you're like, wait, you're going to give away 1st round picks for the next 5 years?
Well, in the NBA, it's 7 years.
Wow. I would think season ticket owners with the holders with the, amount of money that they're paying for tickets now, like, are you going to say, hey, I'll come back in 4 or 5 years when, you get all these 1st round picks, and, it's not for the here and now, that's for sure. 3 years even seems like a long time to me. So
it seems like it does give a team that's currently bad or in bad shape a chance to really speed up their progression, really speed up their turnaround, if you will. If they've got 5 years worth of picks they can trade and say, we need this impact player now and we're going to trade you a pick, 1st rounder 4 years from now, a 3rd rounder 5 years from now, however they structure it. It feels like it's an opportunity for a bad team to get better. And for the team that's acquiring the picks, it becomes a big gamble because you're betting, you're hoping that team is not helped by the player that you trade. You're hoping that they continue to flounder and that obviously that those picks are way up there.
Yeah. Well, just as a fan, you're going, hey, we're going to get 1st rounders if it's this year, a fan going into this season, the 2026 season. Hey, in 2029 and 2030, we're going to get a couple of 1st rounders, man. That's going to be great. Like, that just seems like a really long time from now. So
it does.
It's kind of an interesting one. I don't know exactly what would be the advantage there, what the scenario would be. Not surprising that it's the Browns because they probably are 5 years away from being a playoff team. So,
and they're one of those teams that just don't ever seem to get it right. So when I think it would vary depending on the team you're dealing with. It's offering you a pick that far down the road. You're going, well, let me see. You've got a history of stinking it up pretty much every year. So this is a good deal for us versus the Seahawks. If the Seahawks say, we'll give you a pick 5 years from now, you're going, they might be a Super Bowl contender for the next 5 years. So that pick's going to stink. It's going to be at the bottom of the 1st round. Yeah. So there's not nearly as much value to it.
Yeah, that one was just it was kind of a head scratcher for me. I'm just not sure exactly what their logic would be on that. But like you said, I think that's probably the closest to what they're thinking.
Well, Rams team president Kevin Demoff took to social media yesterday to comment on this, and he's in favor of it. His quote is, "Nothing creates more interest in the NFL than trades. This is why Cleveland's proposal to allow teams to trade picks up to 5 years out as opposed to 3 years out makes so much sense. More picks to trade equals more trades equals more interest in team building options." So that's coming from a team president out there. So yeah, I'm very anxious to get John's take on this.
Yeah. Well, and Kevin Demoff, I've talked about him. You know, I actually said hi to him down at the Super Bowl. I was like, hey, I played horse with you at your dad's house, because Marvin Demoff was one of the smartest NFL people ever, and kind of gives me a little bit of pause that he thinks that Kevin Demoff thinks that it's something that would be, you know, good for the league.
And something they've done, right?
Yeah.
They talk about it here. The Rams, who have famously picked once in the first round since 2016.
That's amazing.
Would be a logical proponent of a rule allowing clubs to trade away more draft selections. So, yeah, that's said it's in line with the fundamental team-building process that's brought Demoff and GM Les Snead and Sean McVay's success. So, yeah, not a surprise that he would be in favor of that. But, yeah, he thinks – and on the surface, when he puts it like that, more picks to trade equal more trades equal more interest in team-building options. Mm-hmm. I think all of that's true. Now, the devil's in the details, and I don't imagine everybody's in lockstep on that, but that is an interesting thought. So, yeah, anxious to ask John about that, see what he thinks of it. So, yeah, those are a couple of things going around the NFL. You guys can weigh in on that. One other thing quickly, Daniel Jeremiah did a mock draft, and these are going to be coming fast and furious now. Mock draft 2.0, 2.1, you're going to see a million different versions. But in his latest mock draft, at number 32, he had the Seahawks taking Jadarian Price, running back out of Notre Dame, with a first-round pick. He says, I see a steep drop at the running back position this year after Price. He would slide right into the mix in Seattle with Kenneth Walker departing and Zach Charbonnet coming off of injury. So that's his mock draft. Then you've got Field Yates, who was on with Brock and Salk, saying he isn't sold on the idea of the Seahawks taking Price in the first round.
Justifying a running back in this class going 32, the most obvious name that's been somewhat popular in mocks. I know my guy Mel Kiper Jr.'s had him in the first round. Others have as well, is Jadarian Price. Obviously, Jeremiah Love will be long gone by pick number 32. I'm probably not as convicted of Jadarian Price at number 32 as others, in part because I haven't seen as much in the passing game from him. He's an explosive player. He does have great kick return ability, but we'll see whether he actually finds his way into the first.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the traits are that, that this running back, maybe another question we can ask about to Schneider. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't see him picking at 32. I still feel
think they're going to trade it.
It just seems like it. And, if they can trade back, and I don't know how much they're going to get for the 32nd pick, but I don't know, maybe John doesn't feel that it just doesn't seem like a super strong draft this year based on all of the experts and what people are saying about it. But, yeah, they'll be interesting. You never know. I mean, it might be, oh, my God, I can't believe this guy fell all the way to 32 and Schneider takes him. But, yeah, just trying to figure that out is difficult.
Yeah, I feel like they took a running back there. Now, look, I believe John. He's been steadfast, and we just take the best player. We're not drafting for need. We're going to take the best player. If it happens to be the running back, I guess that's pretty fortuitous. I just don't see him reaching, saying, "Well, we need a running back, and this guy, he's a tweener. We don't view him as a first round, but then again, we don't view the 32nd pick as really a first round pick either. So maybe they could sort of justify. I just don't see him doing that. I don't think if they think hey, this guy's a third rounder in our book, this guy's a second rounder, they're not going to reach.
Right.
So I tend to lean.
Well, and we'll ask him about that too.
Yeah, he'll tell us who he's going to pick. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. He's going to give us their whole draft plan.
That's right.
Meanwhile, was it ultimately a positive or a negative for Cal to play in the WBC? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Hey, everybody, it's Bob Stelton here. Look, if you've got joint pain you're dealing with, this is going to be something of interest to you because tonight at 6 p.m., Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here, and this live webinar is a great education on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And I'm somebody who can speak to this personally, Dave. After hearing the testimonials from the people you spoke with over and over, I thought I was at the point of needing surgery on my hip. Had been dealing with it for years, getting steroid injections, physical therapy. I went to go see Dr. Mark Wagner. He looked at the imaging. He said, I can help you. This will help you. It doesn't cure everything. I had multiple issues happening in the hip, but he said it will go a long way. And as I've said repeatedly, he undersold it.
Yeah, and whether it's a shoulder, an elbow, a hip like Bob had, a knee, even wrists and ankles, this live webinar will explain the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells.
Dr. Wagner's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you've got joint pain you're dealing with, you need to join this free live stem cell webinar. It's tonight at 6 p.m. to learn about stem cell therapy.
Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, Brock Ewert here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring, well, it's the perfect time to start planning your dream deck. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get you started with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. What does it mean? Well, it means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. Most people who start with a design package end up with the outdoor space they've always dreamed of. And this offer is your first step. Don't wait until summer and wish you had started the process sooner. Start it now. Do what Molly and I did some years ago. Contact PCF Construction Group today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. Go see my friends at PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First. Come in, have fun. Muckle Shoot.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Come in, have fun. Muckleshoot.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be two. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here with Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. And Doc, what do you say to people who are considering those GLP-1 injections for weight loss?
Before you start, ask yourself this. Are you prepared to spend $3,000 to $5,000 per year and stay on the medications long-term to maintain the results? Many prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots, and when the medication is stopped, weight gain is common. And most people don't realize research shows a significant portion of the weight lost can come from muscle, which may slow your metabolism and make keeping the weight off even harder.
From personal experience, I can tell you Eastside Weight Loss Clinic takes a different approach, a doctor-developed program helping people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days.
No injections, no synthetic hormones, no long-term dependence. Instead, we use real food to reset your metabolism, control hunger, and cravings naturally.
So come to their clinic in Kirkland or do the program from anywhere you live with easy remote options. If you want a safe, affordable alternative to weight loss injections,
go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com MayoClinic.com to keep the weight off for good.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from ConsumerAffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today!" Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So, folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 4 o'clock, the latest installment of the John Schneider Show. President of Football Operations and General Manager of your Seattle Seahawks. We do it every Thursday here with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. If you guys want to weigh in on the text line, that's there for you at 866-979-3776. Quickly, just a couple texts that came in. We were talking about some of the proposed rule changes in the NFL, and the Browns proposed one and about, being able to trade draft picks 5 years down the road instead of the 3-year rule that's in place now. And Joe in Bellevue said the rule change has to be a bad idea based on the team that is proposing it.
Yeah. Well, the Steelers were in there too, but I was like,
but theirs was a different rule they wanted to change.
Oh, it wasn't that
yeah,
thing.
No, they had a separate rule proposal, and then the Browns had this one.
I saw that also nobody proposed to ban the tush push.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So that was, I guess we've kind of settled down on that because that was the big thing last year.
So dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb. Meanwhile, the WBC's in the books. It was a huge success in terms of just attention, in terms of buy-in from fans. It wasn't a success in terms of the U.S. winning, but, it was, I think, just for baseball fans, I think it was a great thing. We did talk about Cal's performance, 0 for 9. It was not great. He didn't – and, again, it's not even so much that he didn't get hits because there were very few guys tearing the cover off the ball. That entire offense got shut down. Bryce Harper was able to hit that home run, but, Judge is up there striking out. Schwarber's up there striking out. So 9 ABs. He walked 4 times. That's good. But he didn't look good in his ABs. Didn't look like he had his timing there. So if you look at it and you say, well, all right, it makes sense. I guess I get what DeRosa was looking at, a guy who just looks like he's not seeing the ball well up there, whatever it is. I don't know. Do you worry about that being transferable? I don't think Cal's confidence is hurt by any stretch. I don't think that. But we were talking about the idea that this could be a springboard for specifically Julio, we're used to slow starts for him. But when you look at that with Cal, do you read anything into that performance?
I just think Cal is unflappable. The only thing I think that was, we'll get to it, but just why didn't they put him in big moments?
I don't know.
That last game, I fully expected. When I saw Will Smith behind the plate, I'm like, I fully expect that Cal is going to come in and he's going to get, late in the game, get in at bat.
Pinch hit, yeah.
Yeah, and just didn't. But I wonder if he, secretly is maybe a little miffed by that. But I don't know. He's like the most solid guy in the world. I don't think that's going to bother him. And then, you see the number of at-bats. And we kind of thought that about
9.
Julio.
Yeah, I mean, for any of these guys, it's not a lot of at-bats. Yeah. It's just 9 is not – I get it. To me, again, I think it's more about how did he look in those at-bats. Not so much the results, but it'd be sort of like we talked about spring training. If a guy's – squaring the ball up, but he's hitting it right at people, and he's hitless, but you're going, man, he's squaring it up. It's 110 off the bat, but he's hitting it right at the third baseman, right at the center fielder, whatever. then you're viewing it differently. So, DeRosa's the one that's got to make a read on that. And Jesse Rogers of ESPN, he was on with Bump and Stacy talking about this, and he was talking about 0 for 9 being a very small sample size when it comes to, the course of a series or a stretch of the season.
All of this is small sample size. We would make nothing of a guy going 0 for 9 over 3 games in the regular season, or maybe even the postseason. We wouldn't, maybe a little bit bigger deal, but meaning there's a series to be played. Even in a best of 7, you might go 0 for 9, and the next game you go 4 for 4, and you've won Game 7 for your team. There's always that opportunity in a series to redeem yourself, less so in a single elimination. So I am surprised at maybe him not playing a little bit.
So there's that, and then you get down to the actual decision of saying, I'm not going to bring him out there at all. And Jesse Rogers weighing in on DeRosa and whether he agrees with the moves that he made in relation to Cal.
I don't disagree that it does seem like there's some criticism his way, but then again, there's just as much criticism directed towards Mark DeRosa for not playing him. And, I think DeRosa was in a trick bag there. Whoever he started and didn't perform, you could always point to the backup being just as worthy, right? And certainly that applies to a guy that hit 60 home runs. But yeah, maybe it's a bit surprising in low-scoring games he didn't come off the bench for a swing.
Yeah, that was the one thing that was very surprising to me, and I just because watching MLB Network, you hear Mark DeRosa just raving about Cal, and that okay, he's in maybe a little bit of a slump, he's over, but let's get him going. This guy's dangerous, he can be a problem at the plate, and I was just very surprised by that. And then I wonder if a lot of Seattle fans also were like thinking, well, and he also screwed up the fact that he didn't know that they had, he thought they had clinched a spot in the finals, and so maybe that makes his judgment, whatever decision that he made, a little bit cloudier.
Means he doesn't know ball, Dave. That's what it means.
Well, and I don't want to sit there and rip DeRosa and everything, but it is kind of odd that, and even Jesse Rogers saying that, it's kind of peculiar that he didn't bring him in for, a big clutch moment, because that's what Cal's been.
Yeah, and we had our guy John Morosi on yesterday, who works with DeRosa, is a buddy of his. They've driven together. Yeah, he's frustrated, DeRosa, with his driving, but he talked about he felt like there was a good spot to get Cal into the lineup during that game.
Watching the game last night, I would have liked to have seen Raleigh take at least an at-bat. I realized that his at-bats earlier in the tournament have not necessarily been Cal-like. However, he did hit 60 homers last year. There should have been a spot in a game where the U.S. was struggling to string hits together. I do think on some level there would have been a spot for Cal to get in that game and have it at bat.
Yeah, I think, look, there's no assurance Cal does anything there. He could have brought him in off the bench, said, all right, we got you going against this lefty or this righty, he's a switch hitter. So that's the beauty of Cal. You can bring him in whenever you want, but if he goes up there and he whiffs, he's 0 for 10. There are people going, DeRosa, what are you doing? This guy is ice cold.
Yeah.
He hasn't looked good in those 9 ABs, and you decide in a clutch moment where he's not been playing at all to bring him off the bench and expect that he's going to work miracles here. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. I mean, that's a very realistic possibility, at which point people would have been looking at him as a Dunsky again, going, duh. Guy's ice cold. And you think you want to, with everything on the line, you're going to throw him in there and expect that's going to just all of a sudden turn around?
Yeah.
So he's right. He's kind of in a no-win situation there. So I kind of get it from his perspective. And I think DeRosa's, he knows baseball. He knows baseball. Did he make the right choice? I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he's the one watching batting practice, talking to these guys like we always talk about with Mike McDonald in this team and Dan Wilson with his team, and he's seeing things and hearing things and exposed to things none of us are. So maybe he's looking at Cal and talking to the hitting coaches, going, "Yeah, he's not seeing the ball well right now. He's not comfortable in the box. Whatever it is, it is."
Well, yeah, I just he's 0 for 9, but for a guy that hits 60 home runs, you would think. Yeah, maybe he can create some magic.
Yeah.
The one thing, we talked about getting off to a fast start, and I was just looking at the at-bats. So Cal was 0 for 9. Julio got 17 at bats. So we were talking about, maybe that will, get him started a little bit faster. I don't think 17 at bats is going to get that done. Yeah, I kind of overestimated that part.
Yeah, maybe it's just the mental part of just the focus.
It is
the
more
intensity.
Yeah, it's not like a spring training game that doesn't matter. So there are consequences, and maybe that, that was. But I think at the end of the day, that was the one thing that I was like, yeah. I mean, the WBC, maybe it'll jumpstart Julio, but I just don't think it means anything, and I certainly don't think that it means that Cal's going to get off to a slow start.
No. All right. This will be the biggest storyline over the next week for the Mariners. We'll explain what that is coming up next with Wyman and Bob, live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center at Seattle Sports on 710.
Breaking news this morning from ESPN.
Is it finally happening?
Good golly, Miss Molly.
ESPN's Shams Charania, the NBA, will go next week to explore adding expansion teams in Vegas and Seattle. Joining us now, Shams himself.
The NBA is projecting that both Seattle and Las Vegas would immediately jump into the top 8 of revenue-generating teams.
Stay caught up on the latest at seattlesports.com and Seattle Sports on 710, the app, and YouTube.
Flying chickens in a barnyard.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Harley Exteriors. It's funny how you get used to things around the house that are in not so ideal of conditions. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's a messy garage or a leaning fence that just bothers you. And for us, it was about our old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. And we got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in that same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old Drury windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. They have the spring cleaning sale going right now to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, and you can choose from either 20% off your entire project or a free door. And on top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade. They're manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest, and they're exclusive to Harley Exteriors. And they're also great people. I've really enjoyed working with them. So call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or you can go to harleyexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation and get a bid from Harley. Go to harleyexteriors.com.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At seattlesports.com.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
P&D Tree Service. Local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. If you were hit hard by the storm, P&D Tree will remove trees and clean up while minimizing impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeservice.com.
At Pacific Power Batteries, we know that 3 out of 10 people are pretty good with math. The other 8 people, not so good. That's why we're here to help you select a battery with the best value of dollars per cold cranking amp, per minute reserve capacity, or per amp hour. We speak battery and often use a calculator. So come visit us at Pacific Power Batteries, where, with a 12-volt battery, we'll throw in the extra 0.6 of a volt for no extra charge.
The brackets are now open. Compete in the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Reseed your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 4 o'clock, John Schneider, President of Football Operations, General Manager of your Seattle Seahawks, will be joining us on the program for the latest installment of the John Schneider Show. So stay tuned for that as we're coming to you live from the Virginia Mason Athletics Center. One of the things we've been talking about in relation to the Mariners, Dave, is we are 1 week away. At this time next week, we'll be broadcasting, I believe, from the Hatback Bar and Grill. It'll be opening day. It's going to be madness out there. There's going to be a lot of excitement about the season, but we'll be talking about, whether J.P. Crawford's there or not. We'll have obviously a very clear picture at that point of what his status is. I was thinking about this last night, though, when we talk about his potential absence. What is it that causes most people concern with that? Is it what he brings on the field? Because you could argue, yeah, sometimes it's not a ton. Mm-hmm. Or is it more about just who he is in that clubhouse? We've said it before, longest tenured member of this team. He is a leader on that team. He's respected in that clubhouse. So what's the big fear? Like, oh, no, you start the season without JP. It's got to be Leo Rivas or it's going to be Colt Emerson or a combination of the two. We'll see. But what's the big fear if he's not there?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his numbers from last year, it's not like there's going to be a huge glut in production, you know, at shortstop. It's not like it's a big deal. But the more that you talk to people on the team, he's a leader, man. And I think, but look, I mean, he can still be around, right? He doesn't necessarily have to be out on the field. So, I mean, I think, so I guess I'm not terribly worried about that one, but yeah, JP, I think that's one of the things we found out going down for spring training is how much of a leader he is. And he's a very chill, laid-back guy. Every time I think of him, I remember when you asked him the question about Naylor, and he's like, yeah, I thought he hated me.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah, but yeah, he's just I think he's a bigger part than we think as far as the leadership goes.
Yeah, I feel like that's where his absence would be felt most. If we're talking about, look, I think JP's a good player. I don't think he's great, and I don't think he's a great defensive player these days. So it would be different if we're talking about you're going to be without Cal for a couple of weeks. You're going to be without Julio for a couple of weeks or Naylor. You feel like, well, how do you replace what they bring? That's because you're talking about who they are on the field much more than you are JP, I think, in those cases. So I don't worry about, all right, it's Leo Rivas. Okay, it's Colt Emerson. I guess I'd have more concern about Colt Emerson just based on him being that young phenom. He's your number one overall prospect. You know, that's the other thing. Do you worry about breaking his confidence by potentially throwing him in before he's ready to go? You know, some people feel like they did that with Zunino, that he got brought up too early. People feel like they brought up Jared Kelnick too early. Look, in both cases, that may just be who they were going to be no matter when you brought him up.
Yeah.
Zunino was a guy, I mean, he hit some big home runs, struck out a lot, good defensive catcher, you know. Would he have been better if he had more time in the minor leagues? Maybe, but, you know, you're guessing at that point. Same with Kelnick. I mean, he was a guy who was itching to come up, and I don't know that they sped up the clock based on his desire. He may have just been this guy regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they broke him or, you know, he would have been a different player if they let him, you know, work his way through the minor leagues a bit longer.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing is, you know, I have a lot of comfort with who they're surrounded by in the infield. You know, you got Naylor at first base. You've got Brendan Donovan at third, and those two guys are, you know, probably two of the biggest, you know, leaders on this team. And, you know, probably not Brendan Donovan so much, and even Naylor, because they're both relatively new. But, you know, JP's been around for a long time, and I think he knows, you know, has a better handle on what the culture is. But if you do have to go with Colt Emerson and Cole Young, I feel like with those two guys out there at first and third, along with him, I don't know, maybe or maybe in the lineup that it will, you know, kind of protect those guys a little bit. So I don't know. I think it would be very interesting. I would love to see Colt Emerson as your starting shortstop. I know people are like, oh, you know, you're worried that he's gonna break down, and you know it's gonna be too big for him. But I don't know. I mean, there's also the side of you need to get that out of the way anyway. Yeah. So at some point, you know, but I guess it's not ideal, you know, but I feel like they're pretty much it's pretty ideal what they have as far as our rotation goes, just the whole team in general, that if those two are, you know, your weak points, then I feel like that, you know, they can overcome it. And you always have, you know, Leo Rivas available.
Yeah. We spoke with John Morosi yesterday, and he gave a scenario where he would put Emerson on the opening day roster.
If I felt as though Emerson was going to play every day, even if it's for a short period of time, I'd bring him up. If it's a day or two, that's Rivas's role. And also, if Emerson comes up and plays to start the year, let's say hypothetically that you've got a scenario where JP's on the injured list to begin the year, Emerson makes the club. Rivas is the veteran that you can have step in there and take some of the tougher assignments. He could take some of the tougher at-bats. If there's a matchup that you don't like for Emerson on a particular day, maybe you sit him, play Rivas, and then that allows you to be a little bit more adaptable with how you proceed going forward. I think it's important to set expectations that if you tell Emerson, listen, we still view JP as the shortstop, but he's not ready right now. He's injured, and maybe even his swing is not where it needs to be. Then maybe JP starts the year on the IL, and it's a mix and match. I do think that if Emerson is on the club, he has to start a majority of the games.
I would agree with that.
I love that.
That was their whole thing, is they want him getting regular turns, getting out there, getting those ABs, seeing those pitches, and certainly getting out in the field. And if he's not going to get that at the major league level, then you're kind of wasting it. So if it feels like it's going to be a longer term thing, more than a game or two, then yeah, maybe he's the right option. The other part is the lineup deep enough? And you guys can text in on this as well, 866-979-3776. Is it deep enough to cover the inevitable up and down of two young guys in that roster, and Cole Young and Colt Emerson? Because you see how rookies are. It's volatile, right? The league adjusts to them. If both of them get off to a hot start, you see how the league adjusts. Then we get a chance to see, well, how do they adjust to their adjustments? And sometimes it's not real quick, and sometimes they can be in a 1 for 29 run or something like that. And if you got two of those spots in the lineup, are you You feel good enough about the rest of the lineup that, all right, we can live with that.
Yeah, that's exactly, what I was, thinking as well. And I think JP, maybe he should be the manager for Team USA next time, the WC.
Yeah,
DC.
Get Morosi out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolls around.
All right, we're past the first wave of free agency, so what's the focus now for the Seahawks? Well, we'll ask John Schneider. He's going to join us for the latest installment of the John Schneider Show, live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike three called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
What is it, boy? Someone need help? Someone in trouble? Oh, okay. So you just want me to get Progressive Auto Insurance because their collision coverage covers up to $1,000 in vet bills if you're injured in an accident? That's it? Okay. Calm down. Let's not resort to name calling.
Progressive's collision coverage helps pay for care for your pet when they're in the car during an accident.
No, you're right. Sorry. I shouldn't have said calm down.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage included with purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Jackson Hewitt will do your taxes for $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So if you're a delivery driver, / handyman, / wedding DJ, you pay only $149 or less. We're talking to you, waitress.
Check, please.
/ pet sitter, / influencer. Just $149 or less. Want your refund to work as hard as you? Hurry. Don't wait. File with Jackson Hewitt today. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Hey, homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans. Or or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled Tila, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Great moments in draft history. Presented by Silver City Brewery.
The 2010 draft was one of the best in Seattle history. Russell Okung and Earl Thomas were selected in the first round. Golden Tate in the second, and a hard-hitting safety out of Virginia Tech in the fifth round. Cam Chancellor became the enforcer.
Who will Seattle select this year to build momentum for 2026? Listen to The John Schneider Show. Thursdays at 4 p.m. on Seattle Sports. Presented by Silver City Brewery.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until opening day next Thursday against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. KIRO AM Seattle. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Taking a look at your NCAA scoreboard, just one game going on right now. VCU out in front of North Carolina early, 6-5 in that one. The rest of them, you still got a bunch to come. But the finals from the day, number 1 overall seed Duke taking out Siena after trailing for much of this game. They beat them 71-65. Michigan State takes out North Dakota State 92-67. It was Nebraska over 13 seed Troy 76-47. Arkansas over Hawaii 97-78. High Point with the upset of the day. They take out the 5 seed 83-82, the 5 seed being Wisconsin. Vanderbilt took out McNeese 78-68. It was Louisville over South Florida 83-79. And a minor upset as far as seeding goes. 9 seed TCU takes out 8 seed Ohio State 66-64.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This is the John Schneider Show.
Good to see you guys.
Presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe, defense wins championships.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
It's the John Schneider Show, only on Seattle Sports.
It is time for the latest installment of the John Schneider Show, coming to you live from the Virginia Mason Athletics Center. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. And so we get everybody settled in here, getting the president of football operations, now engineer, in here as well, as he's handing out headsets. He's making sure everybody's properly equipped. And John Schneider is here with us. How are you, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. You brought it.
More you can do.
You brought a guest in here with you today.
I did.
Explain to the.
This is my good friend Armani Perez, who's our assistant director of pro scouting, who works directly with Willie Schneider, and just awesome part of our program, culture builder, just a great guy, and a huge part of our success this last season and last 2 seasons, really. Several seasons, I should say. Sorry, not just 2. He's been here for a minute.
Did you bring him in just because you got tired of us asking you questions? So you said, I want something
else. I just kind of. I think it's an awesome experience for guys like Armani, and just kind of like success stories, guys in the background that don't, get a lot of credit for all the hard work and time they put in, and he's a really cool story because it was part of our program. Scott Fitter was still here, and Aaron Heinlein, and he was at Louisiana Tech, and then Arkansas, and they're like, man, there's this great guy, he's awesome, he knows what he's talking about, he's all ball, and so we brought him in and did the internship program, and he just took it and ran with it, and he's super passionate, and he's a blast to study with, and
Wow.
Just all around great guy.
He's blushing over
here. No pressure.
Absolutely,
no pressure after all that introduction. Do you see something in Armani that reminds you of when you were young in the NFL and just started?
Well, the passion, but I think just the whole internship program in general, just being able to have these guys in and just, all right, they learn and they ask questions and they just work their tails off, and they're just, it's like, okay, you can see they're passionate passionate guys are, and no, he's way better looking, you know.
Yeah,
that does not remind me of myself. No, but
yeah,
no, he's actually like further ahead. I just think like these guys are just the technology is just like so awesome for them to study in a quick manner, and then when we were studying.
Armani, I guess we can give you a chance to talk after all the flowers have been thrown to you.
Yeah, that's hard to follow up.
There's a lot to live up to there. But for the listeners out there, just kind of take them through what your responsibilities are, what you do on sort of a day-to-day basis, and maybe even more so as we approach the draft.
Yeah, so it's all dependent on like what time of the year we're in. So right now, obviously, we're finishing like pro free agency. So for us on the pro side, it's more getting familiar with like the draft prospects and like doing deep dives on them, because this is like the next group of like young stars that are gonna, you know, that we're gonna get a chance to acquire, or we're gonna get a chance to play this fall, and then, you know, talking to the college scouts, seeing, you know, like how these guys are wired, you know, seeing if they're fit for us, and then collaborating with the coaches to see what their vision is, if we were to acquire them, how they would play them. How they fit on our roster. So that's kind of like our focus right now. So
Armani, how much of it is, you know, I know you're looking at film and, you know, football stuff and everything, but about off the field and character, and it's really interesting because, you know, having talked to like George and, you know, talking to you, John, George does security for the team, that the players are more mature. They're, you know, and I thought it was going to go the other way around, that you give, you know, college players a bunch of money and they're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
It's been the opposite, right? And so how much of it is that the character part?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. I think I always think about it this way. Like every time I come into work, like I want to be surrounded by people who like enjoy and like maximize this opportunity. You know, I got a lot of respect for the players, like the time they put into it. How much, like, you could tell by their actions how passionate they are. And then, like, obviously this past year was special, but just like not the way they played, but like the way they connected. I mean, like the walk and talks from Mike every week was super cool. And then just seeing the way they, like, I mean, even the investment they put in OTAs at the start of it, just like laying that foundation. So I think the character piece is like a massive part of it. This time of year.
And we're still working through it until we get, you know, to the draft. Then it's like, okay, we're learning the guys. Then once they come in the building, it's like now we're kind of handing them over to, you know, like Mo and Soup and like, all the equipment and everybody that's going to have their hands on them all the time. So we better be on it in terms of who the person is. And that's kind of, we're still working through that.
Right. So how do you go about finding players? I mean, are you looking at it based on needs of the team, like, okay, we need a running back, so I'm going to focus in, here's a group of running backs, here's my evaluation? Or are you just looking at, these are just how we have every player ranked regardless of position, and here's how we view them on a personal level and everything else?
Yeah, I think it's just more, I mean, I think John is the best person to answer this, but to me it's just more like we're trying to fill 91 going through the draft, so you're trying to be as creative as you can to like maximize all types of skill sets, all types of personalities. Like you, in my opinion, you just don't want like the same set of skill set in one position room. Like you just want all different types, and then they all kind of learn from each other, and then you see how the coaches find a way to like maximize, you know, their potential within the scheme. So.
And tell them about the like times of the season too for pro scouts. So like take them through like, all right, like the 3 or 4 quarters. Tell them what that looks like. We're in the draft part right now, so they're diving into that.
Yeah, and then once we get into training camp, we're just like kind of like it's an overview of like everybody else's roster. So we're assigned different teams. So it's just, you know, a day-to-day, you know, reading up on articles. We call it Sports Scan. And then just saying like, okay, how are they turning over their roster once they get to the roster reduction? You know, and then just you have a good feel from the start of it, from pro free agency, like how they invest into their team, and then with the draft as well, like who are they picking, who are they signing post draft, and then once you get into the season, you have these pro advances where you're helping the coaches try to tell the story for this upcoming opponent. Mike likes to, you know, he likes to say like, hey, like I want to know like what's going on with them. Obviously, like, what's the media like knocking them, or what are they getting their flowers for leading up to our game? And then just understanding, like, schematically, like, what they're doing well, what's something that they're struggling with that we could expose. So that's starting to fall. And then once we get into, like, before pro free agency, it's like you're understanding their team needs, like the roster turnover, obviously, like the cap, and then we're getting help from, like, Joey Lane, Joey Schneider, analytics with Patrick and Becca. So I don't know if that.
Yeah, they're basically tasked with being the general manager of the teams they're responsible for.
So you assign them here. You pay attention to the Cardinals and the Rams. You pay attention to the blah blah blah.
So we'll say, hey, like Armani, what do you think of, like, what's going on in Arizona? Pop, 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 pop.
So you're following them from day one, and you know who they've signed, who they've released, who their cap situation, who they draft, all that.
Absolutely, yeah. So
wow. Hey, let's specifically want to ask about running back. And Charbonnet.
This is funny. Yeah, Dave said this is the new offense. This is the 2025 version of the offensive line, right? This is we're very concerned about the running back position.
A little concerned,
yeah. What's this today? The 19th?
19th.
March, right?
Yeah, it's the first day of March Madness.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah.
Do you have a bracket, by the way?
No.
Okay, you don't have time for that? Yeah, I would think any GM worth his salt wouldn't be playing.
No. They're fun games to watch, though.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Fun.
Yeah. Wisconsin lost. He was happy about that. They just the Soup went to Wisconsin, so they were pretty fired up about
I got you.
Wisconsin losing and all that. But I get it. Go for it.
Yeah. No, I get it. You guys lost K9 and Charbonnet, and there's that kind of worry and everything. But a guy I wanted to ask about specifically is George Holani.
Yeah.
And I think I said this to you before. Am I taking crazy pills, or did he look really good at the end of the year?
Yeah.
You're nuts.
We talked about it. A couple weeks ago, I think, like right after Mike hadn't watched the game yet. He didn't watch the game for a couple weeks, the Super Bowl. And,
really?
And I was like, did you see the game that George had? Like, wait till you, like,
there's no numbers,
like the
there
pass protection, all that kind of stuff. But George is one of those guys that just does everything really well. He catches the ball, but he catches the ball, pass protection, doesn't put the ball on the ground, really good instincts. He's just like, and he's a true pro. Like, he's just got great personality. But like, not to George specifically, but the position and how you acquire people throughout the year. It's just this position in particular. I remember we signed Ryan Grant. Remember he went to Notre Dame, played for the Giants. Yeah. We traded for him at the 53 in Green Bay, and Mike McCarthy's a good friend of mine. He was the head coach, and he's like, "What? We just traded for this guy." He's like, "You expect this guy to start? Like, what do you guys thinking? Like us, like scouts against the coaches, personnel versus coaches. Like, this guy had to come in here. He had like 1,000 yards, and like that's a position that like you can." And you can find guys, and obviously K9 outstanding, and everybody's really excited for him. I mean, it's a great contract for a running back, and but George, to your point, George did a great job. We're really excited about Emmanuel Wilson that we got from Green Bay, and a heavy runner with really nice feet, and
yeah, he could catch it out of the backfield, like and just to like double down on Holani, like the pass pro in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then like the make you miss on the check down.
Yeah, the third third down?
I think it was second.
Second 8 or something, or But the group is but like, Sharp's doing great. Just to kind of quell people, at this time of the year, I get it, but like Sharp's doing great, Kenny McIntosh is he had a great season, and then it was just an awful injury for him, but I get it, and it's a position that we're not, sure. We know we know where we're at right now, and
well, we assume that. We just wanted to, fill us in on some of the details.
Yeah, but George is like, I remember going to Boise, and my son's working in the football department, and I'm like loving up on him, like, man, this guy, like, the night I went there, he was returning punts, kickoffs, like they're giving him the ball, like getting the ball like shoot 25 times or something like that. And Jack's like, yeah, but Dad, wait till you see this other guy we got. I'm like, okay, son, that's great. You know? Yeah, nice. You just stick to your academics. Well, and then they end up having the guy almost wins the Heisman Trophy, or did he win the Heisman? I don't know if did he win the Heisman Trophy?
Holani?
No.
Who are you talking about?
Ashton Genty.
Genty. Oh,
yeah. Jack was talking about Ashton Genty. He's like, wait till you see this guy. I'm like, okay, buddy. Yeah.
So it has the approval of 2 Schneiders. George Holani does.
There you go. Yeah.
Because Jack's working with recruiting.
Yeah, basically. And
Boise State.
Yeah, the fact that George didn't get drafted, that just blew my mind. So,
how much? We talked to you at the beginning. Right as free agency was about to kick off, we were talking about, phones ringing all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's checking in with everybody. What do you think about this, that, or the other? What's that like now? Is the phone still ringing? Are you making a lot of calls, taking a lot of calls, or is that cooled off?
It's turning the corner right now, I would say, right? Like we're kind of getting to this point where, we have people, guys reaching out that didn't quite hit their mark. And then there's guys that are like Willie and Armani and the whole group upstairs are basically like, hey, just checking in on fair.
Yeah. And, they're just keeping us updated, seeing like what's going on. And then as we get closer to the draft, we'll continue to maintain contact with these agents.
Yeah. Of free agents that are still hanging out there.
Yeah. Because there's a group that'll be, they wait. There's a group of guys out there that are kind of like, well, if I haven't signed yet, I might as well wait till after the draft to see, where people draft and what's what best fit is.
Yeah.
You've talked about how, when it comes to cut down time, that you and the other GMs are very communicative. And then when you get towards the draft, everybody just kind of shuts down.
Well, yeah, they shut down or they just completely BS you,
Yeah.
Yeah, that almost came out. That wouldn't have been good.
Is it hard to tell when they're being honest?
Well, it is for me, because there's a group of, now I'm kind of like an older guy, and so there's a lot of younger guys that I just don't. There's a certain bond, like when you go to a school call with a guy and you kind of grow up with him, you get to have a relationship with him. You kind of know, like, all right, he's not talking to me. He doesn't want to say this or that. You know what I mean? And so, there's just a group of younger guys that I just, that's why I rely on, our guys to work their contacts with some of those teams to see what's shaking.
Are other franchises doing what you're doing? Like you mentioned, 50 people a day when you come in here and talk about all the support and everything, and it just seems like the staffs have grown so much. Are you guys kind of on the cutting edge in that regard, or is pretty much
with hiring people? Yeah, I think Chuck Arnold would probably tell you we are. Like, can you chill out on a? No, I'm kidding. I think we are. I think we're cutting edge in our, the personnel side's is always going to be the same in my opinion. But I think we're really cutting edge in analytics, sports science, the future of coaching.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we were talking.
Because if you didn't,
there might be a job opening.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. This is so good.
This guy's full of crap.
Oh gosh. Can we talk about some of the guys I want to talk about Charles Cross too. Yeah. We never really got to talk about, Charles signs and you never really get his flowers. What an amazing young left tackle. And that's part of free agency as well. Joey Lane worked his tail off on that deal for several weeks, and then, I get it, where, free agency has this splash to it, they're covering now, I think they call it football friend or free agent frenzy or something like this, right? It's on TV for 2 days, but I was talking to, the reason this came up is I was talking to George Payton, GM for Denver today, and he's like, man, I'm not getting any credit for the guys that we were signing a lot of guys, not him getting credit, but nobody's really talking about all the guys that they re-signed throughout the year. Yeah. Right. And that really gets overlooked, especially during the season, because we're also hyper-focused on the games,
Right. Especially when you win a Super Bowl. That becomes a big talking point.
Because it's so late in the process, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, that overtakes everything.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. But just really proud of, Charles, his path and, becoming more of a leader this year, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell.
Don't start cussing. I told these guys you might.
I've never heard an ill word out of Armani's mouth.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You haven't been paying attention. What's the? You want to point out what?
Oh yeah. So no, these are
in?
just wanted to remind myself. I grabbed a couple of their tags. Just getting Cody back yesterday is awesome.
Cody White.
Sorry, Shamar. Having him back in the building. Noah, we've been trying to acquire for a couple of years.
How do you say that?
Can you pronounce it really quick?
Igbenogany.
Thank you.
Igbenogany.
I've had that guy before, and you got to get that down before you go.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
And then we Chaz coming back. Chaz is like one of our top special teams players.
Yeah.
And getting Brady done on a 2-year deal.
Brady
Russell, and then can you tell him about like getting Rodney Thomas? Like I was telling him how excited you were.
He was an Armani guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we don't talk like that, but it was cool how passionate he was about him.
Okay.
Like, it was like, this is my guy. I stood on the table for him and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen. I mean, it's.
But take him through the process. It was cool that weekend.
Yeah. So Rodney, like Azam, our pro scout, he's responsible for Indianapolis. He studied him, a couple weeks before we started preparing for them. And, obviously he describes, he's got a report of how he describes his skill set, what he does really well on the field, all that. And then once we get into pro free agency, we talk to these agents, got a good relationship with his agent. He hit me up, just kind of told me what he's looking for. And then, I think after that, it's just like, hey, getting the special teams coaches on board, what does he do well in the kicking phase department. They saw a vision for him, talking to this, the safeties coaches, Jeff Howard, and then Carl Scott, AD. Like the good thing is like the way we do things is just like we're all about alignment. So it's like if we're going to bring a player in, it's all about like, hey, what's the vision for him? So we can help him maximize like his best football moving forward. So
and then they did a good job like staying in touch, and then Kobe signed, and then
and it was just.
So you had your replacement right there. You had your answer.
Sure. Yeah. And Ronnie could run. And I think that's the thing. It's like he's. We always talk about like smart, tough, reliable players who are like fast, physical, and instinctive. And like I think Ronnie's football is like best football is ahead of him with these coaches, this staff, like this support system. So and for him to gamble on us, he had options. That was cool. So it talks about him and like what he's all about. He wants to compete at the highest level and be a part of something that's special, bigger than himself, bigger than ourselves. So it's cool.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing him out there. John, quickly, I want to ask you about this. We saw this story about the Cleveland Browns proposing a rule change.
Yeah.
And as a GM, as a guy who's in the thick of the trades and all that, they wanted to propose that you can trade draft picks 5 years into the future instead of 3. And then we saw the Rams, Demoff came out and said, that's a great idea.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He was very excited about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard, I haven't listened to their formal presentation yet. I read it.
Does that seem appealing? It
doesn't seem appealing to me. I mean, just like 3 years is plenty. Like it's kind of like you can get into a period where we probably 1994. Bill Parcells and Ron Wolf were kind of like just giving each other players back and forth. Like, hey, I don't want to cut this guy, so I'll trade him to you, and then you cut him because he's a great guy. Like stuff like that. Like so. I don't know if I'm getting in trouble for that, but we ended up like for nominal. It was called nominal compensation, and we just got away from it. And I just I'll hear it out. We're going down there next Saturday to the desert to Phoenix to hear all these presentations and everything. But just at first blush, I mean, I don't know. I feel like just to be giving, it feels like that, 5 years out feels kind of like giveaways. And then, first round pick 5 years out, like, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough sell, I would think, to the fan base. Like, hey, 2030.
Yeah.
We're going to get this first draft choice. So.
Or owners, I mean, I don't, if you're at a club, where, maybe you had a losing record, or you're concerned about, job security or something, and you're just giving away a first round pick 4 years out. I just think I really like our system right now. I mean, I have a hard enough time, like, you know, when we're negotiating like all these flips and, you know, like, I like have to get off the phone and write it down on a pencil, act like I have to go to the bathroom, write it down, look at it, and then call him back, you know.
Just to give you a Demoff, Kevin Demoff said, quote, nothing creates more interest in the NFL than trades. And then he said, more picks to trade equals more trades equals more interest in team building options. So that was his quote in support of it.
It'll be interesting to see the presentation, but I'm just giving you my first blush.
Sure. John, as always, great stuff. Great having you down here. Nice when you bring somebody like Armani down here.
Great having Armani on. Yeah.
We'll see who we can get.
He did great. Thank
you.
Yeah. Oh, we got to get you Silver City Brewery. Maybe give it a whirl. I don't know. We got that's the sponsor of the John Schneider show.
Yes, that's right.
We got to get you some.
Well, I thought he said he had it up in the.
He's going to give it a whirl.
Yeah, there's some upstairs. I think.
I mean, deliver to you.
No, not upstairs. It's out of the building now.
Okay. I love that.
What time are you leaving tonight?
Stay away from my car. Stay away from my car. $12.82.
I gave you $12.
Yeah, and he ends up giving me $12.82, and just, you know.
Yeah.
You're gonna get. I mean, what, 12 years old? Like, you know, jeez.
Yeah, apparently.
He writes on the side of my car. Like with the dirt, you know, he's like, but this one said, no way, Kimusabi. All the way down one side of the car.
He had to go to the car wash. Cost him $12.82.
John, we appreciate you. Armani, good to meet you, man. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for coming, Armani. This is awesome.
Thanks, guys.
There you go.
Have a good evening, guys.
Latest installment of the John Schneider Show is presented by Silver City Brewery. So what stood out from that conversation with John and Armani? We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
It's the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery. Coming off a championship season, how will the team reload with eyes on next season? Listen each week as we take you exclusively into team headquarters for insight on the combine, free agency, and the draft. The 2026 team is being built as we speak. Hear about the important moves being made right now to determine who will be making plays during the fall. Only on Seattle Sports and only during the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
Spring is here, Seattle, and now is the smartest time to replace your roof. Trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing, a local, family-owned company that knows how to roof in Washington weather year-round. Schedule your free estimate today at 3treeroofing.com to take advantage of spring pricing, shorter wait times, and get $500 off your new roof before the summer rush hits. Our experts come to you, build a clear plan, and give you an estimate that same day. No surprises and no high-pressure sales tactics. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hour and a half drive here to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love. Sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over $150,000. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why I buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's a crucial part of my balanced strategy. Gives me peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you, too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Text Dan to 989898. Again, text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater. DayandNight.net.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks to John Schneider, President of Football Operations and General Manager of your Seattle Seahawks, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed that conversation, the John Schneider Show happens every Thursday, except for next week. It'll happen on Wednesday next week because we'll be live, I believe, at the Hatback Bar and Grill for opening day.
Taking the show on the road.
And then Friday we'll be out there at T-Mobile. I don't know if we're at Edgar's or if we're up in the booth. We'll be somewhere out there. So the John Schneider Show, just as a heads up for next week, will happen on Wednesday. So, but good stuff from John. If you guys missed today's conversation with him, that will be available on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. But he had Armani Perez in here, whose title again is what? I'm sorry.
He is the Assistant Director of Pro Personnel.
Because it's hard to keep track with John because he shouts out at least 15 to 20 different people anytime we bring up anytime you try to give John credit for anything. He immediately defers to, Armani and KP and EL and everybody's an initial and we don't know who he's talking about. But that's one of the people that he often shouts out, and we had a chance to catch up with him. And interesting to me, Dave, and I don't know if maybe you already knew this, but that everybody's got their team. They're assigned a team or teams, and you're supposed to know day one who's on the roster. Okay, here's who they released. Here's who they drafted. Here's who's on the practice squad. Here's who got cut from the practice squad. Like you're following, and they're reading the press clippings about these teams. What are they being ripped for? What are they getting their flowers for? Like you're you're turned into a basically super fan. You're following every moment of that team, which is pretty interesting.
Right, and that's just the pro personnel side of it, right? That's where, you're looking at other players. And, I always mention the fact that I'll see John watching random NFL games just because, they're looking for, free agents, and they're looking for somebody to trade with. And then you've got the whole other college side of it, right? Then you got the guys that are just concentrating on the players coming out of college. So yeah, it's he has a pretty large staff there that is there to help him, and there's lots of things that go into it, not just like I was talking to some of the security guys and all the background checks that they do as far as the players coming out of college, and I'm sure that a little bit of that goes on the pro personnel side, as far as what kind of guy is he, what kind of a teammate is he. So yeah, that stuff, there's just a lot that goes on. And, I think John, I asked him, do you see something in Armani that, reminds you of when you were, first coming up? And like John was giving guys rides to the airport and, doing all kinds of stuff like that and just gaining knowledge. And I think that's why he's got kind of a soft spot for, a lot of the younger guys that he has helping him out. Plus the younger people are always more technologically savvy. That's another thing too. I've noticed that, Bob. I have noticed that.
I think it's cool that he's very eager. I feel like he's like Pete and Pete's assistant coaches, in that he was really excited about their potential advancement, even if it meant them leaving the organization. He was really fired up and really a big supporter of that. And it feels like John's that way with these guys. Not that he's trying to get them out of the building, but giving them a chance. Like he's really excited. You hear it every time. Again, we give him credit. He's like, well, Armani did this and this guy did that and this guy did it, and they're so great. And they did such a great job with this. Yeah. He really is all about giving these guys their shine.
Yeah. And like Scott Fitterer is a guy that became a GM, and he was John's assistant for a number of years. And I'm not sure where he's working now, but he was with Carolina. And then Dan Morgan was here also. I'm trying to remember some of the other guys. There was one guy, I'm blanking on his name, but he runs the Senior Bowl. He's like the Senior Bowl director or whatever. I'm not sure if he's still doing that, but yeah, he's very proud of those guys, and it's a good comparison. Yeah, because Pete always wanted his guys to go and get, as his offensive and defensive coordinators to get head coaching jobs. And it's tough because you lose people, but like when you have a lot of people in the pipeline, it's like, there's enough there for everybody. So yeah, really cool that he relies on these guys. And then I've talked to Armani before, and it's like, this guy, I mean, you could talk football with him for 24 hours and he wouldn't stop. So, and that's the kind of guys that you want. You're passionate about it, and you can see how passionate John is.
Anything stand out in relation? Everybody's worried about the running back. I like that he compared it to the O-line years ago. Like, all right, we're not worried about the O-line anymore. So I guess the new position group that we're all going to talk about and
running back
beat to death is the running back.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to say, duh. Of course, we're going to talk about the running backs, John.
Just lost your Super Bowl MVP, and the guy behind him is hurt, and the guy behind him was hurt. So
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think from their standpoint, it's like you hear things that are going on in the media, and it's like the sky is falling, and like they have a plan, and so and I had asked him earlier about George Halani, and just I was like, am I crazy, or is this guy, there was just something different about him. It looked like it clicked for him. If you go look at his number of plays the last two games of the season, meaning the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game, it wasn't like he had a bunch of numbers or anything like that. He played probably 50 or 60 snaps in those, but he just looked different. So, I think that's, for us to ask about that is perfectly legit, but for him, it's like, of course we have a plan. We've had a plan, and they had definitely run through the scenario of what if K9 isn't here and we're not able to get him under contract. So, I just don't think that, nothing ever surprises him. So, but I do think running back's going to be an interesting position to look at.
Yeah, it's the other thing that stood out to me was just getting his first blush take at that rule change proposal from the Browns. If you guys missed that, the Browns are proposing a rule change that would allow you to trade draft picks 5 years into the future. Right now, you're only allowed to do it 3 years into the future as the max. They want to go 5. Kevin Demoff of the Rams loves the idea, and we just asked John just first blush reaction, and he kind of wrinkled his nose like, yeah, I don't. He was like, I'll wait till I'll wait to see the presentation and everything, but just first blush reaction, not so much. Not so much a fan of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know what. I mean, apparently Kevin Demoff, who I really respect, he thinks it's a great idea. So, yeah, I don't know. It just depends on how you look at it. I'm more of like a here and now type of guy rather than 5 years down the road. But, yeah, I'm sure he has some good reasons. And, I think it also speaks to the fact that these franchises, these NFL franchises, most of them, the ones that are successful, like the Seahawks, they're looking way ahead. And so whenever that's why, John was talking about, you're going to ask me about the running backs. Well, for most people, it's like, hey, this just kind of hit us. And for him, it's been, something that they've been talking about.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff there. Again, if you guys missed that conversation with John Schneider, happens each and every week, and it'll be available on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, there have been some vocal detractors to the NBA returning to Seattle. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Breaking news this morning from ESPN.
Is it finally happening?
Good golly, Miss Molly.
ESPN's Shams Charania, the NBA, will go next week to explore adding expansion teams in Vegas and Seattle. Joining us now, Shams himself.
The NBA is projecting that both Seattle and Las Vegas would immediately jump into the top 8 of revenue-generating teams.
Stay caught up on the latest at seattlesports.com and Seattle Sports on 710, the app, and YouTube.
Flying chickens in a barnyard.
Discover the ultimate diamond buying experience. Unparalleled quality at unbeatable prices.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave of Cantor Diamond. At our by appointment office, you'll receive truly personalized one-on-one service to your needs.
No high overhead of standalone stores or mall hours to pay for. We're direct diamond importers designing and manufacturing in-house, eliminating all the middlemen.
Stop overpaying at retail and enjoy serious savings on quality diamonds.
From the first consult to the final reveal, we guide you through every step, ensuring you get your dream diamond ring, necklace, or earrings without compromise.
Romantic proposals, anniversary splurges, or just because. Indulge in diamonds for less.
Call today for your private appointment for a dazzling diamond.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's at Kantor Diamond.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring a check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated, so don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart, just complete the purchase. Hurry, this deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor.
Milo's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more in materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
This is Brock Eward. Seastar Restaurant and Raw Bar is celebrating 24 years as Bellevue's go-to for fresh, seasonal seafood, and me and my families as well. My good friend Chef John Howie delivers excellence behind every single plate, and it doesn't matter. Local oysters, sushi, cedar plank salmon, generous portions, polished service, and meals that become lasting memories. Right now, 3-course dinners in the lounge, starting at just $50. Seastar, the dining experience you remember. SeastarRestaurant.com.
Don't miss 3 Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be 2. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at SeattleSports.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
So we talked about the big upset of the day to start March Madness, High Point over the 5-seed Wisconsin. And their head coach, Finn Klayman, was fired up on the court afterwards, pretty much saying, hey, look, no one wanted to play us. They had to play us now.
Your first NCAA tournament game, Coach Klayman.
It looks pretty obvious to me that high majors need to play mid-majors during the season because they said we ain't played nobody. We played somebody now.
How'd you do it?
Feels unreal because I know how good of a team we had, but nobody would play us, just like they wouldn't play Miami, Ohio. But they got to play us in this tournament.
Coach, you were down by 10 early on. What changed?
We just settled in. We settled in. We got a hell of a team. We settled in.
They should be fired up. That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know, what he was referring to there, but
Make it sound like people don't want any part of them.
Had like a little chip on his shoulder. I love that. He's fired up. You don't usually see that from basketball coaches.
Yeah, you see it from football coaches. Who's your guy? Google me. I win.
Signetti.
Yeah. Indiana, right?
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty bold statement there by him, but so far it seems like it's working out for him.
Sweeping the dial.
ESPN's Louis Riddick was breaking down why he believes we're seeing so many big offseason trades now in the NFL.
Well, I think there's two reasons. One, I think timelines are condensed now as far as the amount of time that a lot of these GMs are being given to turn franchises around. And so guys are going to use every vehicle at their disposal, every method at their disposal to try and improve the football team. And one of the ways you can do that is by calling up your buddies and seeing if you can kind of work out a deal in a way that maybe you couldn't in the past. And the reason why, look, a lot of these GMs now, they've all come up through the ranks together. They were all either college scouts on the road who used from Oklahoma to Texas to Baylor to Texas A&M, down to Rice, down to Houston, and just make that trek throughout the country. And, you're having dinners together, and then you're going in and watching tape together and talking about players, and you develop relationships. As you move up through the ranks, you become general managers. It's easier to pick up the phone and call a guy and say, hey, look, man, there's a guy who I have in mind who I really like on your roster. Maybe there's some people or some picks we're willing to get off up from us. I think this could help you, or you could help me. And the friendship kind of allows you to kind of have that kind of conversation.
Wow. Go get him, Louis Riddick.
It's all about friendship.
I'll tell you what, man, he was very impressive when we interviewed him on the huddle, I think it was, at Radio Row. And, I think he's going to be a GM at some point. But should be, right? Yeah, he really should be. He's incredible as far as his knowledge of the game and just how things work. And great communicator, obviously. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting insight into how these guys have become friends and know each other. And like John said, that was interesting. He's like, I'm one of the older guys now.
Yeah, and he's not quite sure who of the young guys are BSing him or telling him the truth.
Right.
Because he's like, when it's not the draft, everything else, everybody's very forthcoming and they're communicating and exchanging info on guys. And then when it comes to the draft, all of a sudden everybody's playing poker, looking at their hand like, all right, is he being deceptive? Is this guy being real with me? And he's leaning on the young guys to, hey, is this guy full of it, or is that honesty?
Yeah. Well, and people will hate this. I think one of his best friends, or as far as GMs go, is John Lynch, who's the GM for the 49ers. And
I think at this point we'd be more upset about the Rams.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be.
More than San Francisco.
Right now I dislike the Rams more than I dislike the Niners.
Yeah, I agree.
Sweeping the dial.
Now, this is an early contender for Wyman, so we'll probably play it again tomorrow. But Stephen A. Smith, for some reason, believes that Nashville should get an NBA expansion team over Seattle.
Nashville is a growing city. A lot of people love Nashville. Okay, and obviously they're a very successful city right now. They are a thriving city in the United States of America, and so when you look at them, I'm certainly not getting on and advocating that Memphis loses a team, because I don't want that to happen to that city. But in the same breath, you wonder about Nashville, comparing that to Seattle, and wondering what kind of possibilities may present itself in that regard. I don't think that will happen. Shams, you're right on the money in terms of Seattle and Las Vegas. But I have found myself thinking about Nashville quite often.
And I have found myself thinking about Stephen A. Smith. He's a Moran. He's a Moran. M-O-R-A-N.
He is a Moran. I think Nashville's a great city, no question.
Yeah, they're fine. But you've got a proven track record of over 4 decades in this city. So let's go with I would assume most owners and Adam Silver and everybody involved in this want to go with a sure thing, of which Seattle is most certainly that. Mm-hmm. It is a sure thing, as much as we've got people that text in and say, I'll never watch it again, and they took the team from me, so I'm never going back. There's going to be somebody to take your place. There just is. That building will be packed to the rafters, guaranteed. And again, you've got the history here. So, Nashville, fine. Growing city, up-and-coming city. This city's here. This city's already big, and it's growing still. So, and you've got the established history with the NBA here. So it just, if he's trying to say that they're a better option than Seattle, he's more of a Moran than I thought he was previous to this, and I already thought he was a big Moran.
Yeah, well, and this is the most sure thing. I mean, if you would have said, okay, instead of Las Vegas, Nashville, okay, but I mean, this is just, to me, and maybe it's just being a local, it's a no-brainer. to me, because you have that. As much as I heard you guys with some of the texters that were like, they're just so pissed that it happened in the first, that they left, that they're never coming back. They'll be back.
Yeah.
They'll be back.
Well, if they don't, and I believe a lot of the people that say I'll never watch will stick to that. But there's somebody to take your place. There's somebody that maybe was too young when the Sonics were taken from Seattle, so they don't have that hurt that we have, that some of these people have, and they're just like, hey, I'd love to have the NBA here. I'll go. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, for every person that says, I'm done, there's a person saying, I'm in. And that's the reality of it. I have zero doubts about the attendance, zero doubts about the ability to find a list of potential owners that would want to own this team. And the city's got the building, the city's got the history.
Well, and I think 50% of those threatening that they won't be back that's BS. That they'll be back. You're just going to sit there and fold your arms and I'm still mad about the past. And meanwhile, maybe the team's got some exciting new players. It's a really fun experience and everything. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What, are you going to punish yourself?
Yeah, you're the one getting punished.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to go to the game. You're saying you won't watch it on TV. You won't follow. You won't invest any of your time. You don't have to invest your money. So yeah, I believe there'll be some that stuck to it that have bailed on it since they left and probably lost touch with the league. So it's easier to say, well, I don't know anything that's happening in the league now. Why am I going to change when the comes here? But
those people are Morans.
Morans. All right. Well, what should be the realistic expectation for the Mariners' loaded farm system this season? We'll talk to Jim Callis of MLB Pipeline about that. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
4 Down Territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every 4 Down Territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Up top. Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
See country star Aaron Lewis and the State Liners at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, March 24th at 8 p.m. And now an added show on March 25th. He's a multi-platinum artist whose raw lyrics and powerhouse vocals have captivated fans for decades. Now he and his band, the State Liners, are coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see Aaron Lewis at muckleshootcasino.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Final tryouts for adults ages 18 to 65 and older are this Sunday, March 22nd at Interlake High School in Bellevue. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers in high school to former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
This is a test of your emergency alert system.
P&D Tree Service, local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. If you were hit hard by the storm, P&D Tree will remove trees and clean up while minimizing impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service, any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeService.com.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Ewart here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got three options. Number one, sell your home. Two, get a HELOC or refinance. Or three, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until opening day next Thursday against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. KIRO AM Seattle. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Taking a look at your NCAA scoreboard. Games going on right now. 1 seed Michigan up on 16 seed Howard, 35-29 in the first half. They're at the half. The game between 6 seed North Carolina, 11 seed VCU. Carolina up 39-28. Right now it's number 11 Texas up on number 6 BYU, 27-21. And St. Mary's, the 7 seed, facing off 10 seed Texas A&M. Right now, Texas A&M out in front, 17-13. Looking at the games that are finals, number 1 overall seed Duke struggling with Siena for a good part of this game, but they were able to pull out the victory, 71-65. 3rd seed Michigan over the 14 seed North Dakota State, 92-67. It was Nebraska, the 4 seed, hammering 13 seed Troy, 76-47. Arkansas hammering Hawaii, the 4-13 matchup, 97-78. High Point pulling off the upset of the day so far. They take out the 5th seed Wisconsin, 83-82 the final there. Vanderbilt over 12 seed McNeese, 78-68. It was Louisville, the 6th seed over 11 seed South Florida, 83-79. And another minor upset in terms of seeding. The 9 seed TCU takes out 8 seed Ohio State, 66-64.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We're exactly a week away from opening day for your Seattle Mariners when the Cleveland Guardians come to town. Cannot wait for that. Still have some spring training action. In the meantime, you got the spring breakout games in Arizona. And joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook hotline is a man who is out there at the spring breakout games. He's senior writer for MLB Pipeline and MLB.com. Jim Callis is here with us. Jim, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'll give you weather. I'm very hot in Arizona. Very hot.
Very, yeah. It was. We were there.
I would say we did 100 earlier than any time.
Uh-oh.
But it's a good time. I can do it out.
Hey, why don't we put Jim on hold or see if we can establish a better connection here, rather than try to struggle through every fourth syllable, and see if we can get a better connection. Maybe it's the heat. I think he said something about it being very hot and
supposed to get like 100 coming up here soon.
Well, this week they were supposed to have according to the advanced weather forecast, they had 3 days in a row over 100, and they were moving some day games to night because of that. So yeah, it was hot when we were there. It's supposed to be even hotter this week.
Yeah, what was the we ran into somebody that was like, okay, if it's 105,
no, it's 100.
We go at night, or 104. It was some weird number, and I'm like, okay, so if it's 104, that's over, and if 103 is okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Like, how do you tell the difference?
Yeah, I don't know. That 1 degree is all the difference in the world between heat stroke and just sweating a lot, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, very, very, even for Arizona, unseasonably hot. Same is true in L.A. I guess L.A. is getting in the mid-90s. It's March.
Yeah, I want to say it was like the first time, like this was the earliest hitting the century mark in Phoenix, like in a long time.
All right, I think we got Jim back with us. Jim, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys fine. I think I have a iffy Wi-Fi connection here at my Airbnb, so I took it off Wi-Fi. So I think we'll be good to go.
All right, you sound good, but I think we gathered you were saying it's very hot.
Yeah, I was saying it's a record. This is the earliest it's ever hit 100 degrees in Arizona ever. So
wow,
ever.
Yeah, 104
since they've been taking the temperature. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So,
well,
it's exciting. Look forward to the Mariners game tomorrow.
Well, give us a sense of this Mariners organization. You know, we're excited about a lot of the young prospects they've got. Obviously, you wrote an article on the two pitchers that everybody's talking about, in Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan. For those that didn't read your what you wrote about them, you just talk about obviously how impressive they are. But what's for those that didn't read, what's your takeaway in watching these two young guys?
Yeah, I think the Mariners have the best lefty-righty duo of pitching prospects in all of baseball, and I think they're both going to get there pretty quick. You know, Cade Anderson was the number 3 overall pick in last year's draft out of LSU, where he led college baseball in strikeouts and pitched a 1-0 shutout in the College World Series finals, and kind of impressively did so without his usual trademark fastball command. But, you know, that was a guy the Mariners coveted. They weren't sure they were going to get him at number 3. And, you know, if you're looking for somebody to be the Trey Savage of 2026, to go from the first round of the draft one year to playoff hero the next, that could be Cade Anderson. I mean, he's got 4 pitches, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. They all can be plus pitches at time. They all can be his best pitch on any given day. And along with the stuff, I mean, it's advanced control and command. It's a tough competitor. He probably, this will sound funny, had more media scrutiny at LSU than he's going to have in Seattle, just because of the way that program's covered. And I just think it's a matter of getting him pro experience and ready for the longer pro season than anything he really has to do developmentally. And then Ryan Sloan was a 2nd-round pick the year before. He was as good as any right-hander, any high school right-hander in the 2024 draft. But the way the industry works is people are skittish of taking high school pitchers, especially right-handers, and they rather take them with their 2nd pick than with their 1st pick, and he should have been a mid-first round pick. He gets compared. He's got 3 pitches. He's got advanced control for a high schooler. He's very physical. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he kind of looks like, I'm not saying he's going to be as good, but it kind of looks like Garrett Cole did at the same stage of Garrett Cole's career. And the Mariners, you know, looked up, and there's Ryan Sloan in the 2nd round just sitting there for him, which they didn't expect, and they jumped on him. He had a really good year last year. And the nice thing is the Mariners, you know, have one of the better farm systems in baseball. We just ranked them number 8. They have the best spring breakout roster of anybody. They sent their 10 best prospects. We're going to get Cade Anderson for 2 innings tomorrow. We're going to get Ryan Sloan for 2 innings tomorrow. Cole Emerson, even though he's still in big league camp, is going to play in the game. And it's the best matchup. They're playing the Brewers, who have the best farm system in baseball. So Mariners fans who tune in tomorrow at 6 Pacific time, it's on MLB Network and a variety of platforms. You're going to see the best spring breakout matchup of all 16 games this spring.
Yeah, Jim, it's been remarkable what they've done with pitching. What as far as the Mariner organization goes, what stands out to you about the Mariners and how they're able to identify talent and then, most importantly, develop it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's a little bit of a cliche, but I think the teams that do the best job of that are the teams where everybody's on the same page, where the scouts, you have the scouts and the analysts, agree on what traits they're looking for, and then they go out and find them, and then they work well with player development, and everybody's on the same page. I really think that's more what they do than anything. And, with both Kate Anderson and Ryan Sloan, the draft is hard. One of my favorite scouts always talks about how the draft is hard. And to be honest, you also need some luck in the draft. And with those two guys in particular, Mariners win the draft lottery, and they wind up with the number 3 pick. And there's Kate Anderson. And, like I said, Ryan Sloan, should have, that was the year they took Durangelo St. in the first round. Ryan Sloan should have gone right around the same area Durangelo St. did. But because he's a high school pitcher, he didn't, and they found him there. So, those two guys were very nice additions. And if you look at the system, they're very, very deep in hitters. I think the hitting even stands out more than the pitching. But those two guys are the best lefty-righty tandem in the minor leagues.
And I think they've got, 5 or 6 in the top 100 in MLB Pipeline, right?
Yeah, they have 6, which is tied for the most of any team. And if you think about it, they trade away Harry Ford and they trade away St. this offseason. So they would have had 8 if they hadn't made those trades.
So in talking about their number 1 overall prospect, and I believe he's top 10 in MLB Pipeline, Colt Emerson, you just brought him up. We've been having discussions about him because J.P. Crawford is dealing with an ailing shoulder, and he had to go to Texas. He got a cortisone shot. We're uncertain about his availability to start the season, so we've had the debate, all right, what do? Do you start the clock on Colt Emerson? Is he ready? He's a little up and down in spring in terms of the bat. You got Leo Rivas, a veteran out there. Just looking at Colt Emerson, I don't know how much you've had a chance to sit there and pay attention to him specifically, but from what you've seen, what you know, what you've read, does he feel like a guy who's ready to make that jump from AAA to the big leagues, or would he be better served to spend more time in AAA?
I think you can argue it either way. It's always easy when you have a guy, Colt is very talented, and you're right. We have him ranked number 9. In our overall top 100 prospect rankings. He's still, very young. He's 20 years old. He won't be 21 until, around the All-Star break, honestly. He's one of the better, hitting prospects in all the minor leagues. And I think you can look at it a couple ways. He hasn't played a lot in AAA, so getting him more experience there would be good. But at the same time, I do think he's a gifted enough hitter. I don't think he's going to come in and be a 300 hitter right away like he will be in his prime, but I think he's a gifted enough hitter to hold his own. And the thing that's really been impressive about him since he was a first-round pick back in 23 when the draft was in Seattle is, I handle Ohio for the draft, which is where he was from. And the scouts absolutely love Colt Emerson. And he's one of those guys, if we went back and did the 2023 draft, he wouldn't last 22 picks. He might not last 5 picks. But everybody loved Colt Emerson. But the consensus was, okay, he's a bigger frame guy. He's going to be a bigger frame guy. That's a future third baseman. He's not going to be a shortstop. Everybody projects him as third baseman. And I think where he's really opened eyes since he's been in pro ball is the bat has been exactly as good as expected, but he's a better defender than people think. And I think, it's a case where he could be a stable shortstop. He'll be able to make the plays. It wouldn't be a stretch. So I think, it's kind of a nice luxury. If they need him, he's not going to be in over his head. He'll be able to handle himself. In an ideal world where Crawford isn't hurt, you'd probably give him some more time in the minor league. Regardless of what they do with him on the opening day roster, I think we're going to see him in the big leagues sooner rather than later. And I think he's going to be an exceptional player.
Hey, Jim, Laz Montes just checks, it seems like every box. There was people again. Well, he's handsome. He's really nice. He's got he's built like a tight end in the NFL, and yeah, he's a really intriguing prospect and just a delightful kid. But tell us about what you think the sort of path for him is most likely.
Yeah, no, he's 6'5", 210 pounds. There aren't many minor leaguers who have more power than him. He hits the ball hard. He hits it far. Last year he hit 32 homers in the minors. Did most of that damage in high. Well, he split the season. Split the season between high and Double-A. and he was 20 years old. So he's a pretty precocious power hitting prospect. I mean, there is some swing and miss there. It's always going to be a power over hit guy. He's not a big runner, so he's more of a left field DH type. He does have a strong arm, but his power is tremendous. So that's another reason I like the Mariners system is you got a little bit of everything. We talked about Anderson and Sloan. We talked about Colt Emerson. He's one of the best pure hitters in the minors. And Laz Montez is one of the best power hitters in the minors. I mean, his raw power is near the top of the scale. He's a lot of fun to watch too. And again, like I said, and I'm not saying this just to shill for the broadcast, but it's going to be Mariners fans. All these guys are going to be playing in the spring breakout game tomorrow because the Mariners, as much as any team, made sure all their best prospects are available and they lined it up so Anderson and Sloan were ready to pitch tomorrow. So if you could tell, I'm very much looking forward to seeing that game tomorrow.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to update his weight on there. There is no way that guy is just 210 pounds. No way.
With I was going to say with the international guys, I think it's their weight when they sign, and then a lot of times it doesn't get updated. So I think 210 pounds was maybe 5 years ago. But I'm with you. He's much more looking like a tight end who's been on like an FTE weight program than he does at 210 pounds.
Yeah, if you said 230, 235, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, that might be closer. But, hey, one other prospect that I'm sort of intrigued is Michael Arroyo, a guy who I've heard, when we were down there last week, people talking about of the prospects, they felt like his bat was the most major league ready. But he's a second baseman who, in the brief moments I've seen him, I don't know defensively if that's his spot. In fact, they were working him out in left field in one of the games I was watching. So I don't know if his future is in the outfield as they see it. What's your take on him defensively, and is his bat as advertised? Do you think he's got a major league ready bat?
Yeah, I mean, I know you're accurate on that. I think he's kind of iffy as an infielder, and he's probably more of an outfielder in the long run. I mean, realistically, we're probably going to see Colt Emerson and Cole Young being the double play combination in the future, and Arroyo probably winds up in the outfield, which is fine because I think he's got a bat to make that work. He does a little bit of everything. He controls the strike zone. He hits for average. He hits for power. He's not – I think it's more average speed, but he's got some base stealing potential. He could be a potential, 2020 guy at the major league level who I think is going to contribute in a lot of ways offensively. And, if he does wind up in the outfield, again, I do think he has the offense to profile as a regular. It's fun to watch him too. And then, they have Johnny Farmelo, who's, an outfield prospect who, had an injury after they signed him. He was a supplemental first round pick a couple years ago. He's probably the best athlete in the system. And you're talking about plus raw power and plus speed. And if he can just stay healthy, I think that's a guy who could really break out this year too. I mean, they are loaded. They are a really loaded farm system.
Hey, Jim, for Colt Emerson, is there a comp that comes to mind? Somebody that you've seen in the past that maybe reminds you a little bit of a guy that's that young and, and has that much talent?
Yeah, I mean, he's not. I mean, I'll give him a lofty comp here. He's not as big, but like he's a smaller version. He could be a smaller version of Corey Seager for me, honestly. I think he has a chance to be that good with the bat.
Hey, just back to Sloan and Anderson for a moment. We were talking to Mariners beat writer Ryan Divish about this when we were down there last week, and he was saying, in his opinion, that we were talking about Bryce Miller and Brian Wu, how they made their way through the minor leagues very quickly, got called up at a necessity because of injuries, and we've seen what they've become. He feels like that Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan are more developed and further along than both of those guys were when they were called up. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I mean, definitely with Cade Anderson, which is, if you think about it, kind of funny to say because he hasn't even made his pro debut yet officially because he signed last year. Sloan, maybe. I mean, I think Sloan is more advanced than those guys were at the same age, but since he signed out of high school, and he's just really pitched one full season in pro ball, and I think it was 80-something innings. So if you're looking, I'll buy that if we're saying him compared to those two guys at the same age. When those guys were called up, they're probably a little bit more advanced than Ryan Sloan is. But, all that said, I think I think you'll see Anderson this year at some point, mid-season. I think he's going to come that quick. I think with Sloan, because again, I mean, this is his second year out of high school, honestly. He's probably going to spend the whole year in the minors, and we'll see him sometime early next year. But yeah, he's I think well advanced compared to those guys at the same age, but not necessarily when they were called up. Because I mean, shoot, they were 2-3 years older than he is right now.
It's ridiculous how young that kid looks. We were sitting across from him. Hey, as far as the World Baseball Classic goes, Jim, how did you enjoy that? And then did you think that maybe they should have used Cal Raleigh a little bit more? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's cool seeing how passionate all these different countries are about baseball. It's a lot of fun to watch that. The one thing, I mean, and this isn't going to change because it's played in spring training and guys are trying to get into, peak shape, for the start of the season. Yeah, I think there's guidelines with teams about, how much you can use certain players. And my guess is, I don't know this for a fact, but my guess is with catchers, there's probably some kind of agreement like, look, don't wear a guy out and catch him every day. Maybe he catches every other day. I mean, Cal, obviously, great player. Regardless of whether he's in there or out of the lineup, the U.S. theoretically, you look at the other guys in the lineup and on the bench, should have been able to score more runs. So, yeah, I mean, I think you can make a case he could have played more, but I think you can make that case for a lot of guys in the tournament who were kind of used sparingly. But I do think with the catchers, and obviously the pitchers, that there are agreements to not just run specific guys into the ground.
Yeah. Did you have any issues with how DeRosa managed?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, not necessarily with the personnel decisions, because again, those are dictated. I mean, you look at the final game and Mason Miller didn't pitch, but I think the understanding was that Mason Miller wasn't going to be used in a tie game. The whole, hey, we've advanced to the quarterfinals. So wait a minute, we haven't. That wasn't a great look. And I'm not going to make an apology. I'm not going to make an apology for DeRosa and who knows, whether he misspoke or he misunderstood or what that was. I will say this. I mean, he did not seem like he had a clear understanding. I think we can agree to what extent, but he didn't have a clear understanding what the tiebreaker rule is. I'm just shocked. I mean, here's a guy who doesn't manage international baseball very often. He does what? The World Baseball Classic every 3 years. Wouldn't you think that USA Baseball would have some kind of technical assistant who's in charge of monitoring all that stuff to make sure that Mark DeRosa knows exactly what they're dealing with? That part surprised me a little bit. But no, I mean, look, that wasn't the greatest moment, but, Italy got him off the hook. And, I don't have any problems with in-game management. I thought he managed the bullpen very well against the Dominican, and I don't know what you can do in the gold medal game when, your only offense is a 2-run homer from Bryce Harper. I mean, that's more on the players. I mean, it's a tribute to how well Venezuela pitched too. But, I don't think if he had managed differently, say in the final game, that the victory was there for the taking. But it's a cool event. I mean, and it's cool. It's cool to see how excited, so many different countries get. And obviously, you saw the Venezuelan players. That was, like winning a World Series for some of those guys.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, before we let you go, I'm curious to get your take on this, and I'm sure you watch these guys come up through the system, and that is, the 4 young pitchers that the Mariners have are younger than Luis Castillo, are obviously Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, and Bryce Miller. We played this game throughout about, all right, they're not going to re-sign all 4 of them. Financially, they're just not going to be able to do it, so hopefully they could re-sign 2 of them, and I know their timelines are a bit different, but just for sake of argument, if you could only commit to 2 of those 4 based on what you've seen watching them come up through the minors and who they are as big leaguers now, which 2 would you lean toward?
And that's a good question. I would lean probably towards Logan Gilbert and George Kirby would be the 2. But the nice thing is you have the flexibility, which gives you some options if one guy's easier to sign than the other, or if, let's say you get in a situation where you decide, hey, we got to get Kate Anderson and Ryan Sloan into the rotation so we can trade one of these guys. I mean, I think almost every other team in baseball would love to have the riches that the Mariners have in terms of starting pitching in the majors and minors, because it's pretty impressive.
Jim Callis, senior writer for MLB Pipeline and MLB.com, has been our guest here with Wyman and Bob. Jim, great to talk to you, man. Really appreciate you taking some time with us, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, sounds good. It's, take care, guys, and all your listeners, watch the spring breakout game tomorrow, because the Mariners are literally putting all their best prospects on display.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay cool out there.
Well, that's impossible, but I will do my best.
Hydrate, Jim. Hydrate.
That's right.
I am. I will do that.
Thanks, man.
Okay, take care, guys.
There you go. There's Jim Callis, senior writer for MLB Pipeline and MLB.com. He's out there for the spring breakout games in Arizona, which will be coming up, which will feature both young stud pitchers for the Mariners in Sloan and Anderson. So some interesting comments from him. Interesting on which two pitchers he would lean toward. Kirby, you don't hear that one very often.
That was interesting.
I feel like everybody says Logan. And then I thought he was going to say Woo.
Woo, yeah. Well, it's too bad that Bryce Miller is injured and has had injury problems. So because he's, we've seen him deal some magic.
If he picked up on that season, 31 starts, sub-3 ERA, and just continued with that, maybe he's everybody's pick. Definitely seen what he's capable of when he's healthy, and that makes it a very tough decision amongst those four. Meanwhile, Seahawks have two important decisions to make this offseason. We'll get into those coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike three called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife, and for local men recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, several treatment options are available. And I recently had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Robert Meyer. He is a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award. And we spoke about the great work being done by Swedish Cyberknife. And Dr. Meyer said patients experience fewer side effects compared with other treatments, and the Cyberknife treatment is complete after only 5 sessions, each lasting less than an hour. So patients are treating their prostate cancer in only 1 week with minimal interruption to their lives, and many don't even take time off of work to undergo treatment. The Cyberknife targets the prostate cancer only, sparing vital surrounding organs. And Swedish has been offering the Cyberknife treatment in Seattle for over 10 years and treated over 1,000 prostate cancer patients, some of them listening right now. So if diagnosed with prostate cancer, learn more about Cyberknife for prostate cancer treatment at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees, and when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Bring your visions to life with smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need to achieve your goals. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Do you have at least 1 month worth of food in your pantry? If not, you should definitely go to mypatriotsupply.com right now. My Patriot Supply is America's #1 supplier of long-term storable food. They've helped over 3 million Americans get prepared. And for a limited time, when you order their best-selling 4-week food supply, you'll get an additional week of food absolutely free. There's no catch, but act fast because this offer ends soon. Claim your free emergency food kit now at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for just $36.99. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At seattlesports.com.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Jim Callis, senior writer for MLB Pipeline and MLB.com, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you just tuned in and missed that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, a couple of things we've talked a lot about. The Seahawks so far as the offseason goes, have not made the big swing. They haven't taken the big swing. They haven't made a big deal. The majority of the new faces they've brought in are all 1-year deals at low in NFL dollars, low dollar value. Like Emmanuel Wilson, the running back, he can make up to $2.1 million if he reaches his incentive. So it's a 1-year commitment. These aren't big deals they're making out there, and most people look at that saying, well, yeah, that's because you've got 2 young guys in JSN and Witherspoon who are in line for lucrative extensions. This Jeremy Fowler on with Brock and Salk, this back in early March, said Seahawks are saving their money to sign both of those guys and ideally getting it done this offseason.
And they want, they know they need to do that. I believe that will happen. Not sure what will happen before the league year, but at one point I thought maybe, it's going to happen this offseason. And Devin Witherspoon, they want to at least address that. So I believe the money and the resources will go to those 2 before others.
So we
makes sense.
Touched on that earlier in the show, and he's stating what it feels like the obvious right there. Now, James Palmer, who was on with Bump and Stacy, said YJSN will ask and deserves to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
His average per year starts with a 4?
that's Jamar Chase. I mean, that's monster money. It really is. Those contracts really have to change what you're doing in terms of how you build your team. But he's worth, I think, every penny of that because of his versatility, because of the way he plays the position, because I always look at it going, when the entire stadium knows you're getting the football and you still get the football, that's the rare player in this league. Those guys don't come along very often.
I like that.
Yeah.
Everybody does know. Yeah, and the corners know, too. He just has a way of winning at, whether it's varying his speed or, you see, remember in the Arizona game at home, one of the DBs just fell down. It's just like, his footwork is so good, and he could have easily gotten tripped up in that mess. So, but, I was posing the question earlier, pick one.
Witherspoon.
That's to me too. And we were saying, and you brought up the point that we always talk about how the receivers are dependent on other people too much. Whereas playing on defense and running around and the versatility that Spoon has, he lines up everywhere. He can make his plays. He can make his own luck. Somebody texted in and said, "Well, what if the quarterback doesn't throw his way?" I'm like, well, if you have a player that's like taking away a side of the field, that's pretty good.
He's still there to make tackles. Yeah. He can impact his day much more individually, much more than JSN can.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that's not. I don't want JSN. And I don't think they're going to choose between the two. I think they're going to re-sign both of them or sign them to extensions. But when you're just looking at the overall dollar value, that's where I'm going, okay, JSN's made it clear he feels like he should be the highest paid wide receiver in the league. And you just heard James Palmer there talking about the highest paid receiver right now, average annual value is Jamar Chase at $40.25 million per season. And then if Witherspoon follows in kind and saying, well, I think I should be the highest paid corner. Right now, the highest paid corner average annual value is Trent McDuffie at $31 million. So just between the two, if they just match those two, they don't exceed it. That's $71.25 million of your salary cap committed to two players.
Two players.
And then I'm looking at, all right.
You got 20 others that you need.
Well, and then you got the rest of the roster, the entire roster.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, on the field, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the biggest of which may be the guy who will be looking for an extension the next offseason, because if we just playing out the hypothetical, if Sam Darnold has another year like he did, where he was very good, he won a Super Bowl with him. He's not the main reason he won, so maybe he doesn't get the top dollar, but if he gets more in line with market value based on who he is as a quarterback, because he's got 2 years left on a 3-year deal he signed, he'll want an extension after the second year. Seahawks would probably likely want to give him an extension. Right now, the highest quarterback salary, average annual value, is Dak Prescott, $60 million per year. Oof. I'm not saying he's getting 60, but does he get 50? Does he get 48? Does he get – I mean, he's going to get a lot more than he gets right now, because by everybody's estimation, based on who he's been the past 2 years and now coming off a Super Bowl winning season, winning 14 games again, and again, not all due to him, but a massive part of it, obviously, he's being paid below market value. So you got those two accounting for, if they just accept those numbers and don't exceed them, 71.25, then you throw in Darnold at whatever. Let's be conservative and call it 45 a year, which I think it'll probably be higher. But 45 a year on top of that,
yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, $116 million or so of your salary cap potentially going to three players?
Three players, yeah.
Can you still put a competitive product on the field if that's the case? I know the capologists can get creative and move this money here and call this a bonus, and this year his salary cap hit will only be $3 million. Or they don't know how to work the magic and play the shell game with all the money. But in some way, shape, or form, that bill comes due.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, they have guys like Joey Lane that, I mean, his job is just dollars and cents, making sure that you have the right cap space. I'm looking at the amount of cap space, and there's some pretty crappy teams that are ahead of the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 6th, according to SpotTrack, and they got $37,877,000. So, and 363. at the end. But, you look at the teams that are ahead of them. The Titans, sorry, Lefko, they're number one, 63 million. And then the Commanders, Chargers, good team. But then the Cardinals and the Jets, they have lots of. So, I mean, it's like they have a pretty good roster. They got some good players, unlike those other teams, and they've got a fair amount of space. So, yeah, for a guy like Joey Lane, he's just sitting around trying to move numbers around and trying to find a way to appease the player and then, field a team, basically. But, I mean, I feel like they're a much better put together team. I mean, they do have some challenges, no question. But, if you go and look at some of the guys that, are under contract and they don't really have to worry about, they've done a really good job with it. But that's the scary thing is what you mentioned, the fact that you have three players and the quarterback position is going to come due. No question about it. So, it's a tough one. And if you are going to invest in, Sam Darnold, then you certainly are going to invest in JSN, right? So
I would certainly hope so.
Yeah. So I think that's the challenge. And, I guess, basically we just sit here and say, well, they'll figure it out, but there may have to be some painful things that happen. And that's why I was just proposing, okay, JSN or Spoon, which one do you take if it ever did come down to that?
Yeah, I can't imagine them. I mean, how amazing is
JSN would be. That'd be tough.
Yeah, the other interesting part of the JSN conversation, and let me make it clear, I want him back.
Sure.
But there were a lot of people when DK, that conversation was coming up about paying him. They're going, you can't pay a receiver that much money and expect to be competitive. It wasn't even so much about him. They were just saying a wide receiver, period.
Just the position.
Yeah. You can't pay him that much and do this and do that. I wonder if those people feel differently now. He's still a receiver, but we like him. He's not polarizing. He's not as demonstrative as DK. So
he couldn't be a better kid.
Yeah, I mean, I like DK. DK was a good dude, and he's a heck of an athlete. He's I don't think he's got the hands that JSN has, but he's got the speed, the size, all that stuff. But there was just that argument that no, it's not about DK. It's about that position. You can't do that. All right. So are you still holding true to that? Do you still feel that way, even though it's JSN and we all love JSN? Do you still feel like, you can't pay this guy if he wants $41 million, $42 million on average per year?
Yeah, I would say, though, that, and somebody said that DK was a one-trick pony. I don't think that's the case, but I think that JSN has a lot more versatility and can play in the slot, and he can be the number one, and just his route running ability is incredible, and it's uncanny. It's kind of hard to all year, and really last year too. The question was always, what makes him so great?
Yeah.
And it's not like he's DK's size, and it's not like he's got blazing speed, and he doesn't have like the. Maybe he does. There's just something about the way he runs his routes that just gives defensive backs fits. Yeah. But, I wouldn't say, though, that he had like the shake that Doug Baldwin had.
No.
So, I mean,
the
it's
quickness off the line the way he did.
No. Yeah. I mean, there was times where Baldwin would just leave a guy in the dust and be wide open. And, you don't really see that, but he wins at the top of the route.
Yeah, they got their work cut out for him. How they handle that is going to be fun to watch. Meanwhile, we learned that Wyman might not be allowed back in the VMAC next week. See what that's all about, what we learned.
Maybe riding on the car?
Maybe that's it. We'll find out what we learned.
No way, Kimosabe.
That's coming up next with Wyman and Bob, live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, at least this week. It is Seattle Sports on 710.
4 Down Territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every 4 Down Territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hear that? Sounds like simple. Valvoline Instant Oil Change simple. No appointments. About 15 minutes to change your oil. Then out the door and back to life.
Yeah, honey, on my way.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Expert service doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At SeattleSports.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring and summer, it's right around the corner. So if you haven't called PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, right now is the time. With a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover. Some restrictions do apply, but do what we did. Contact PCF for all the details and start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning and permits, they can take a little time, so please don't wait. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This is a house of learned doctors. What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What did we learn today?
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Stupidity is the easiest way out.
The VMAC, is that what we learned?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Dave's going to be allowed back. He just kind of on air. And as we learned here, John Schneider admits that Dave was out there just vandalizing official Seahawks property.
Yeah, there's some upstairs. I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
delivered to you.
No, not upstairs. It's out of the building now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
What time are you leaving tonight?
Stay away from my car. Stay away from my car. $12.82.
I gave you $12.
Yeah, and he ends up giving me $12.82, and just
Yeah.
you're gonna get. I mean, what? 12 years old, like, Jeez.
Yeah, apparently.
He writes on the side of my car, like with the dirt. He's like, if this one said "No way, Kimusabi," all the way down one side of the car.
He had to go to the car wash. It cost him $12.82. Yeah, I saw John on Monday night, I think. When I got back, my son and I stopped at Dino's. And, of course, John was in there. And he had sent me a text that it was $12.82.
To wash his car.
To wash his car. So I gave the waitress a 20 and said, bring me back $12.82. And she was all in on it. And then she delivered to their table. So I think he...
so that means you paid for it.
I get a chance.
You get a chance to write again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you want to pay for it.
Sure. $12.82.
You should write your message and then in small print say, I got it. Don't worry. Or I got you covered on the car wash.
Or just put $12.82 on his car. Yeah. Well, he calls it a car. It's a huge truck.
Yeah. Nice big doors to ride on.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody said that I definitely Googled Kimosabi to see how to spell it. I absolutely did not.
No, you didn't. I was there when you wrote it.
Kimosabee is the way I went.
What is there what's the proper way?
This guy says he spelled it Kemosabe.
Yes.
No,
that's the correct way.
Which way is Lefko?
Not Dave's way.
K-E-M.
It's K-E-M?
I like that Mike, much like our texters, acts like he didn't just look it up.
I absolutely just looked it up.
He's on everybody says that.
Yeah. At least Lefko admits it.
Yeah. What else did we learn?
Out like that. You're right. Hey, we learned how to spell that as well, but unfortunately that guy's right. So write it again and say, John, how to write it the correct way.
Yeah, there you go. I had to correct myself. That's the reason.
Well, we also learned that today is, of course, everyone's favorite day of the year.
By the way, I'm glad we're here today and Matt is stuck in the room with Lefko because he'd be insufferable today.
Yeah.
It'd just be way too much Lefko with this tournament going on.
Not till tomorrow. I'm saving that all for you when you guys are back.
Wrong.
You're saving? You're okay.
Wrong. I haven't been in here yet today.
You got in here 5 minutes early.
What?
The obnoxiousness until tomorrow.
Your twitchiness, your pacing, you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, Purdue plays tomorrow, so it'll happen.
Nose buried in your phone. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
He has already been pacing. He has gotten within 3 inches of the monitor to watch the game. This is a lot.
Jeez.
Yeah, this is Lefko's Christmas morning.
Yeah, have fun with that, Matt.
Yeah, Lefko just a little bit more fired up than everybody else when it comes around to tournament time.
Yeah, his focus is definitely pointed in a direction, and it's I've seen him. He'll get up on a chair on his knees. He'll be pacing, talking to himself, talking to nobody in particular. Is that a bit of what's happened today there, Matt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop.
It's funny, I asked John if he filled out a bracket like sarcastically, but it really is fun. I'm glad I did it. Because I looked at I got the email this morning. I was like, I'm going to put a couple hours into this.
Couple of hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was probably an hour and a half. But, Yeah, I mean, just to kind of get caught up to speed or whatever, and makes it a little bit more rewarding that way. But I like your idea, and I almost did it. I almost went just straight chalk.
All the years of filling out brackets, which I've done every single year, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I was just like, let's just see. I'm not worried that we got nothing really on the line here at work other than bragging rights. So let me just...
Don't we get like a gift certificate or something like that?
That's the rumor, but that hasn't happened in the past. Yeah, so I was just like, I'm just going to take the highest seed every single game and just see what it does. And when it's all said and done, how does that bracket do? So we'll see. What else did we learn, Lefko?
Well, quick score update here. You'll like this, Bob. So VCU had stormed almost all the way back. North Carolina has opened up some breathing room now. They're up 5 with 90 seconds left. That was a very popular upset. But for the chalk brackets, yes, that was like the most picked upset, 11-6. But for the chalk brackets, it's looking okay right now. So we'll kind of monitor that.
Did you take High Point over Wisconsin?
I did not. No, I regret that. We learned that Dave did, but actually, speaking of that, Dave was more worried about the rules, not necessarily a thrilling March Madness upset.
Anybody else pick High Point besides Dave?
Not I. Matt?
Anybody?
We'll check Matt's bracket in the break.
Here's one thing. Lefko, did you see the play? Did you see the layup?
Yeah.
Did he take 3 steps?
He might have, yeah. It's all right.
I mean,
is that a thing anymore?
Traveling drives me nuts, man. It really does.
There's no such thing.
So you would prefer not to have the upset because of traveling?
No, I'm just like, I want to be fair and square. But, yeah, I mean, I guess it was like in transition, that first step, but I'm sorry, I saw 3 steps there.
Oh, I'm sure you did. You probably saw 3.5. That's, I mean, the NBA, you pretty much can skate down the court. You're fine. Yeah, you literally can tuck the ball under your arm like a running back and weave in and out of the defense and pack it. And you're good to go.
Yeah, I guess that makes me an old man shouting at the wind, but yeah, I don't know. That in my day, that would have been traveling, and that would not have been
back in your day.
Upset.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the number of steps before they call it has increased over the years, without question. All right, that's all of it, Lefko?
That's it, Kimosabe.
That's all of our learning right there. That's going to do it for us. I want to thank our guests, Jim Callis and John Schneider, who joined us on the program. If you missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. You got the Mariners and A's coming your way next. We'll talk to you tomorrow with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Some places just know how to make an evening special. I'm Brock Ewart, and for me, that place is Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue. For 24 years, my friend Chef John Howie and his team have delivered incredible seafood. I'm talking pristine local oysters, sushi, cedar plank salmon, generous portions, and an unmatched beverage list. From the first greeting to the final bite, you feel taken care of. Celebration, business dinner, night with friends, Sea Star turns great meals into lasting memories. SeaStarRestaurant.com.
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years.
Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money. A lot. And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per